Calon FM.
Welcome to Calon FM, welcome to the racecourse, and welcome to our exclusive live coverage of Wrexham against Tranmere Rovers. Are you excited yet? We are. Oh boy, this is a big one. It's been building up for a while. There's Wrexham doing so well at the moment, finding good momentum up against a Tranmere side which is hot on our heels and also looking to challenge for the title. Two teams which are both hoping to get right up there at the end of the season. Both teams who are gathering momentum and a capacity crowd for us to hopefully enjoy a major moment as Dean Keats looks to build up his team. Team news, well, there's not much, in all honesty, because both sides are unchanged in the sides that won last weekend. Big news for Wrexham on the bench, mind, because David Raven lines up on the bench. New signing for Wrexham, announced within the last hour. Ex-Tranmere defender, in fact. He's been brought in to add depth for Wrexham at the back, and so he's on the bench today. So to go through those teams for you, Wrexham lining up with Chris Dunn in goal. Across the back, Kevin Roberts at right back, James Jennings at left back, Manny Smith and Sean Pearson are the two central defenders. In midfield, it's Sam Wedgbury and Marcus Kelly in the middle, Chris Holroyd on the left, Paul Rutherford on the right, and up front Scott Quigley, who of course scored 2 goals on his debut at Hartlepool last Saturday, and Scott Bowden, a duo who were very potent in combination. Quigley, by the way, there were rumours going around this morning that he wasn't fit to play, and I must be honest, they seem to be unsubstantiated, but I believe that he did have a fitness test before the match. He's feeling his hamstrings a bit. He was fine though, so he does start the match. Wrexham's bench: Christian Dibble, James Hurst, the debutant David Raven, Jack McCrath and Akil Wright. Mark Harrington still not available. As you can hear from the boos, the Tranmere players are just going in after their warm-up. And Tranmere unchanged as well, with a big contingent of ex-Wrexham players amongst them. Rhys Taylor, the goalkeeper, is one of them. The back four: Adam Buxton at right back, Liam Rydalsh at left back, the two central defenders, Richie Sutton and the experienced Steve McNulty. In the centre of midfield, Jay Harris, another player very familiar with the racecourse, lines up alongside Ol Norburn. On the left-hand side, of course, is James Jennings, his brother Connor Jennings. On the right, Josh Ginnelly, on loan from Lincoln. And up front, a very interesting duo, Andy Cook, a target man who's as good as you'll get at this level. And alongside him, James Norwood, a striker who always looks full of threat. The bench for them: sub-keeper Luke Pilling, Jack Dunn, Jake Kirby, Jeff Hughes, and young left-back Eddie Clark, who's been watched by some big teams and had a run in the team lately. So, the sides are confirmed. It's a massive game, Andy, and it's a massive crowd as well, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very good to see the racecourse this full again. A lot of talk over the years, but it's really good to see the racecourse full and a lot of fans anticipating a really good game. For me today, the battle is of the number 8, and I think that's going to be really interesting. We've got Harris and Wedgbury, obviously Wedgbury playing for Wrexham, and up against Harris, obviously an ex-Wrexham player and obviously a very talented midfielder. So I'm really looking forward to watching that battle in the middle of the park.
Absolutely, and that'll be added extra spice, of course, because of what happened at Prenton Park earlier this season when Wrexham won 1-0, despite being down to 10 men after 40 minutes, because Wedgbury picked up a second yellow card with a wild tackle on Jay Harris, who I think saw it coming, and there wasn't that much contact on him, but I'm not blaming Harris for that, because Wedgbury did dive in. So yeah, that battle, yeah, there'll be a little element of revenge, apart from the fact that clearly those two are beating hearts for the two teams' midfields, aren't they?
Very much so, and as you say, I think Harris jumped out the way a bit, and he probably played on it a bit, but it was a bookable offence.
Yeah, absolutely. If you only yellow when you go in like that, there's likely to be only one decision that the referee is going to make. And I mean, James, Andy's talking about the contest between Harris and Wedgbury. Another key contest you would think would be when Wrexham are taking on McNulty. People always look at McNulty, who is a very big figure for a professional footballer, and they think that this is a player who's slow and can be pinpointed. But the fact that he's gone up at this level with Fleetwood and with Luton and is consistently at the top of Tranmere tells us that he's clever enough to work out a way to compensate for that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you look at McNulty, and yeah, you don't necessarily see a footballer, but he is a footballer, and that's why he's done so well at this level for a long time, and the league above. He reads the game exceptionally well, so he doesn't necessarily need that pace. He can be turned and he can be got out of pace, but if you're going to try and play to his strength, which is working it around him in small spaces, let him use his strength, let him use his power in the air, and just be able to read the game, then he's going to deal with most attackers in this league because of their poor first touch. If you've got a striker with Quigley who has a half-decent touch, same as Holroyd does, and Bowden, then he might struggle a little more. The Wedgbury-Harris one is interesting to see. We didn't really see a lot of it last game because of Wedgbury not being on the pitch for a great deal of time, but you know, Harris to me is one of the best Wrexham players I've seen in our National League era, and I hate seeing him in the other side, but Wedgbury, he is that combative midfielder, and I think the two of them would be a nice. I think it'd be nice to see how they match up. But yeah, McNulty, you look at him and you always think surely he can be tested. And I think if you play the right way around him, he can be got at.
Absolutely. I can't help thinking as well that people expect him to be vulnerable and he has his ways of dealing with it. But there is one phase of play that I'm very optimistic about in this match. Last few matches, Wrexham have been breaking away better, counter-attacking better. The 2 goals are Hartlepool. Wonderful example of that. Partly, I think because Holroyd being wide gives you more attacking thrust, partly because Quigley's got the wherewithal to join in a counter-attack. And looking at Tranmere's recent games, they look very open to the counter. They're bristling with attacking danger, but they can.
Push, and it's paid dividends for him. But yes, it does expose the Achilles heel that potentially could be there. And Wrexham, as you said, are playing well on the counter-attack. We're set up to attack teams that come at us. That's the way we do it. Get it to the flanks quickly, attack down the wing, get it in. So yeah, it could be interesting. On paper, the teams match up as exact opposite each other, so it should be a good game of football. It's just who holds their nerve the longest.
Absolutely. I'm overexcited already thinking about it. Let's think about it further in the company of first Dean Keats previewing the match, and then club skipper Sean Pearson.
I'm Sean Pearson. Follow Wrexham AFC on Calon FM.
Tomorrow it's a big game and speaks for itself.
Yeah, as you said, it speaks for itself. It's a derby, so it's got its added spice, but they're all big games now. So you turn in the corner, coming towards the arm straight, so it's every game's massive now.
Is it important to put the occasions at the back of your mind and focus on the game itself?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, we look back to last weekend at Hartlepool. It's very similar to that. It's, you know what, we can only focus and go about our business on the pitch. Yeah, it's virtually sell out. I mean, big attendance, but like obviously we had the same thing last week at Hartlepool. Drove home to the lads, play the game, not the occasion. There's obviously a lot of stuff going on off the field, and it'll be the same again this weekend. Two big clubs, way too big for this division. Should be playing a lot higher, but we're both here for a reason, and obviously all being well, we can go about our business tomorrow and hopefully get 3 points.
You mentioned Hartlepool. One of our jobs last week was to silence their crowd early. I think that may be the game plan of trying to give.
Yeah, look, you know why? As we went up to their place and we went about our business up there, I have no doubt they'll come here, and that's the part that you play, and that's to go to any stadium. And you know what? When they've got passionate fans and want to get behind the team, you look at slowing the game down and you look at quietening the crowd as much as you can. And I have no doubt they'll stick with us and they'll be the 12th man as they always are, and get behind the lads. And they're doing well. The united front between us both we can do the business.
Inevitably, when we're in the position that we're in, we're going to look at the teams around us, try and mirror a point behind us, derby or not. It's a bit of a 6-pointer.
Yeah, it is what it is. I mean, you know what? It's as I said, it's massive games coming up now. All being well, we can win the game. But obviously, as I said, we'll be gutted. But obviously, it's not the end of the world if he doesn't go the opposite way. But obviously, we're at home, so we're looking to get the 3 points.
We've alwast got a bit of insurance policy as well. Game in hand, and we play that on the
yeah, that's massive. Obviously, the game in hand's coming up on Tuesday, but obviously we won't look past what's in front of us tomorrow. Obviously, as I said, it's not just the fact that it's a derby, it adds the spice for the fans, but it's massive for us as a football club. And every game we want to play, we want to win, and all being well, we can win tomorrow.
Yeah. Of course, you mentioned the crowd and things like that. We've sold up nearly 9,000 tickets. That is just phenomenal, isn't it?
Yeah, look, does it surprise you? No, not personally. That's me not underselling our fans. They are what they are and they're amazing. And you know what, they back the club and they stand up when it's county, when it's football club need, and they've been there. And all being well, as I said, we can get a good crowd up on the pitch.
Finally, any team news at all? No fresh injuries?
No, nothing to be concerned of. Obviously, we're going tomorrow, and as I said, everybody's fit and healthy, so hopefully we can get the 3 points.
Cheers, Dave.
I'm Scott Bowden, follow Wrexham AFC on Calon FM.
Sure, Tranmere tomorrow. Need I say more?
No, yeah, big game. Obviously, everybody's looking forward to it. Glad to see him fitting around to go. So hopefully, we, generally when we've played in these big games this season, the 2 local derbies, we managed to get wins. Obviously, a big crowd last week at Hartlepool managed to get a win. So hopefully, we can continue that.
Is it important to put the occasion to the back of your mind and focus on our own game? Do you think tomorrow?
Yeah, definitely. I think ultimately, I know everybody's getting carried away with it, and I know it's a bit of an old cliche, but it is only 3 points at the end of the day. It'll be a big 3 points in terms of momentum and things like that. But at the end of the day, the league table, neither team win or lose tomorrow is either nobody's going to win the league tomorrow, but nobody's going to lose the league tomorrow. So big game, obviously, it'll be big momentum if we can get the win, and that's what we'll be looking to do.
It's a strange one. Last week we went to Hartlepool, we wanted to silence them early, and Mickey Mel, I think Tranmere's managers, come out this week and said he wanted to do the same to us. So we've just got to focus on sort of they're going to try and get into our face a bit. But
definitely, I think if you look back to when we played at Tranmere earlier this season, obviously they're struggling at the time, and we had a little bit of that. Obviously, getting the man sent off early, probably, as daft as it sounds, maybe helped us that day because it made us sink in and it frustrated their crowd even more, and they sort of turned on them. So that's important for our fans tomorrow. No matter the score or no matter the situation in the game, they're trying to stick with us for as long as they can, and hopefully that can help cheer us on to a big 3 points.
When you're in a position that we are in at this time of year, you always look at sides around you. Tranmere a point behind us. We've got the game in hand, so maybe next Tuesday's game is going to play a part in it as well. It's such a big, almost 6-pointer, isn't it?
Yeah, it's huge. I think the next month coming up, there's a lot of big games. I think looking through, we play Tranmere, and then obviously got a couple of games, but a lot of the top sides are playing each other in the next sort of 4 or 5 weeks. So it's a big month probably coming up, and that'll probably sort of be a big indication as to who's going to be challenging ultimately for the top spot coming into the season. We obviously hope to be in there, so hopefully we can get a win tomorrow, and then if we don't, we don't, and then it's about just kicking on and trying to pick up as many wins as we can. Ultimately, if you don't win tomorrow but you win your next 3 or 4 after that, it's not a bad run. So we just have to win games as and when we can.
8,500, nearly 9,000 tickets sold for tomorrow. I mean, that's just outstanding, isn't it?
Yeah, it's phenomenal. Yeah, it's superb. That's what ultimately, like, most lads signed here for that. They want to be involved in big games in front of big crowds. We've come here, obviously we've done pretty well so far. That's why the fans are coming out in their numbers. So hopefully we can reward that. Hopefully we can reward that commitment from the fans, come out in the numbers as they have, and hopefully we'll see if we get a good result. Hopefully we'll see a lot more of them come back again for the remaining games.
I'm Sam Wedgbury, follow Wrexham AFC on Calon FM.
So there you go, Dean Keats and Sean Pearson with their thoughts on this match. The teams are now out. I apologise in those audios as well. The planes flying overhead, which clearly made a bit of an effect on the audio. Sorry about that. So the teams are out. The handshakes have been done, and we are nearly about to get going with Wrexham against Tranmere Rovers. Wrexham will be kicking towards the Kop in the first half. To go through those teams quickly again, Wrexham line up with Dunn in goal, then it's Roberts, Pearson, Smith, Jennings at the back, Rutherford, Kelly, Wedgbury, Holroyd in midfield, Quigley and Bowden up front. Tranmere with Taylor in goal, Buxton, McNulty, Sutton and Rydalsh across the back, Ginelli, Harris, Norburn, Jennings in midfield, Cook and Norwood up front. It's all set up for a cracking match, and you'll hear us all here on Calon FM as Jay Harris stands over the ball and gets things underway. Ball fed backwards, and immediately Dorburn goes running at the heart of Wrexham's midfield. Spreads it to Ginelli, who is covered by Holroyd immediately, and it's not the best return ball, but Buxton done well to skip past Holroyd, and his cross is blocked by Jennings, throwing to Tranmere, 10 yards out right-hand side, and, well, Tranmere first to get on the front foot in front of their fans, who have packed out the top section of the stand behind Chris Dunn's goal. Throw in, and Ginelli's got nice touch, works it backwards, good skill by Buxton to sidestep his man, stands across the far post. Too much on that, Cook can't get to it, but Tranmere do have a good target man in Cook, and Wrexham needs to be trying to make sure not many crosses come in for those sort of areas, Andy.
Yeah, very much so, and I certainly think Smith and Pearson are normally up for most things for getting the ball away, but yes, the more crosses you can stop coming into the box, it's obvious that that's going to reduce the pressure on those two.
So goal kick, which Chris Dunn will take. It's Quigley, the obvious aerial target, pulls over to the right flank and avoids McNulty. Dunn steps up and drives it into that area. Quigley jumps, it goes beyond him though. Very windy day here at the racecourse. Smashed away by Rideouch. Pearson underneath it, heads it to the halfway line. Ginelli's there, and Holroyd hassles him. Ginelli's done well to hold on to it. That's a good ball down the right channel. Norwood running into the box. Pearson is strong, but Norwood's managed to hold him off and has the ball by the corner flag now. Strong start by Tranmere. Fed into Ginelli. Corner flag, he tries to backheel it. Intercepted by Wedgbury. He goes surging away, and the first challenge in Ian Harris. Harris gets a foot in and nicks off Wedgbury. Chance for Tranmere to take a quick throw in perhaps. Harris back to Buxton. Chance to cross. Stands in towards the penalty spot. It goes beyond Manny Smith. Andy Cook shouts for the penalty. The referee absolutely not interested. He claimed he was pushed in the back by Kevin Roberts. Roberts drills it away. Not the best clearance though. Norburn brings it down, and Tranmere can come forwards again. This is not the best start by Wrexham. They've yet to get onto the ball at all. Tranmere work it around in the middle of the pitch. It's fed into the hole, beg your pardon. They aren't just brushed the piece of equipment there. Set off a jingle. Straight to Ginelli. Great tackle that by Jennings, who has stayed down. He looks in real pain holding his hip. It wasn't a foul on him. He made a hard tackle. Don't know if he fell awkwardly or if Ginelli just caught him. But he's really in distress, and Wrexham want the ball to be kicked off the pitch. Tranmere continue. The ball's in their own half. The Wrexham fans are saying the game should be stopped. He's still down and looking really hurt, and Pearson now intercepts. And he'll put it out of play, but it looks worrying. He doesn't look good at all, does he, Andy?
No, not at all, and he's certainly rolling around there in that agony. Good spot, though, from the Tranmere players. They had the ball, and then at least 2 or 3 of them started pointing at the touchline, so we could get somebody on to have a look at Jennings. He's looking in a bad way.
Yeah, he looks really uncomfortable, doesn't he? He's landed, I think, on his hip, it looks like.
Could be an early introduction for Raven, I suppose, but we shall see.
Well, I mean, Wrexham have got on the bench, they haven't got Mark Carrington, who's been the one standing in at left back. Hurst could stand there on the wrong side. Raven, of course, would come on for a very early and unwanted debut in the first half, with maybe Roberts switching over to the left. But Wrexham haven't got a like-for-like replacement for Jennings, who is flat on his back and still getting treatment. Right. He's gone in hard on a couple of early tackles, isn't he? So you got to hope that he's able to recover.
Yeah, I'm kind of hoping it's just a bit of a bruise and a shot that he can run it off. But
yeah.
His hip has gone dead. That could be the end of his game. It's interesting.
So, lengthy bit of treatment for him. You have to be alert as well, because Ginelli, the player marking him, is a lively character on loan from Lincoln, scored on his debut last Saturday, likes to come inside and get into scoring positions. In fact, that's a big part of what Tranmere do. They get the wide strikers inside and get the fullbacks outside. And now Jennings is up on his feet and slowly walking to the side of the pitch. Hopefully he's okay. It looks like he's testing it out.
He certainly wouldn't want to come off at this stage of the game, would he?
Absolutely. It looks like he wants to come back on. As Tranmere give the ball back to Chris Dunn. He's still in consultation at the moment with Phil Davis, but yeah, Jennings is back on. Oh, and immediately looks bad. He came on and immediately dragged his leg behind him. He does not look right at all. And the rest of the back four are talking to Dunn. It didn't sound to... He's kept it on the pitch, though. I think Wrexham are seeing if he's going to run it off. He knocks it long and it spins through to Reece Taylor.
I think that's the end of Jennings' day.
He looks awful, doesn't he? I hope there's not a switch here. Ginnelly's made a run inside him. Jennings just can't follow him at all. Luckily, the ball wasn't played into him, but Wrexham need to win the ball back and put it off the pitch. Dunn is barking at his team, and I think is clearly saying we need to do exactly that. As Wrexham press, Taylor knocks it long, headed away by Bowden, and flicked away by Wedgbury. I think they'll go out for the throw in Wrexham needs. Jennings is down again, and his race surely is run. That's a real blow for Wrexham, isn't it?
Yeah, it is indeed. As you say, is it going to be Hurst or is it going to be Raven?
Interesting to see what happens. I mean, if Raven is stripped off, I think, so he's going to get a very unexpected early debut.
Is Raven more of a centre? Because I've seen Smith play out on the left as well. I wonder if that's a possibility to actually swap it round that much at the back. But obviously, I want to see Smith playing in the middle of the park.
The centre back or right back, really. So Roberts could switch, perhaps. Raven can play at full back. Maybe he could switch over, but I think most likely is maybe Raven at right back, Roberts at left. We'll have to see. Jennings certainly he's still getting lengthy treatment, but Raven stripped off and ready to go.
There comes a time when you just have to accept it's done. It's a big 3 points this day, without any doubt, but it's not the end of the season either. You want Jennings fit for the next game and the game after that, really.
You're absolutely right. So Jennings goes straight down the tunnel. What a blow. He tried to get back on and immediately broke down, and it looks like Raven maybe going straight into left back. Actually, after we speculated about all the different alterations he'd make, Raven's gone straight at left back anyway. Built like a centre back. Hairstyle like McNulty. But greying, shall we say?
Surely if you're Tranmere now, the first thing you're thinking, let's test him, let's see what he's like.
Exactly. As Wrexham win the ball high up the pitch, here's Holroyd spreading it on now. I beg your pardon, quickly squaring it for Holroyd. Wasn't the best pass, it was behind him, and Ginnelly covering clears. Raven's first touch is to win the header, and he chases after the second ball as well. It's cleared. Pearson steps into the Tranmere half, heads it forwards quickly, scrapping, wins it from Ginnelly, takes on a nutmegs McNulty, and then goes down too easily. Wrexham livid, they want a free kick on the edge of the area. I think the ref was right there, but promising that he ran at McNulty and got straight through him, back past the Dunn, slams it away. Wrexham got their first bit of pressure on the board. Poor touch by Bowden though. Norburn comes surging forwards, looks for Cook, good first touch. Cook, edge of the area, might shoot, he dumps Smith on his backside, but he's tackled well by Pearson. Bill Wedgbury, beg your pardon, good work by the midfielder. Wedgbury has got a score to settle here, hasn't he, after that red card at Brenton Park, as the ball's driven long by Roberts inaccurately.
Yeah, you can't be thinking, you'll be thinking, I've got to prove that I'm worth it, I'm worth the red shirt today.
Absolutely. It's started to hot up a little bit now. Wrexham starting to get some tackles in, starting to get the ball forwards a little bit. Throwing to Tranmere, 10 yards short of the halfway line. It's Cook climbing, good climb by Roberts, beats him to it. Norburn miscontrols, and he's lucky to work it backwards accurately to the left back Rideout. It's a long one. The ball, it's awkward in the winds. Pearson's managed to head it away, but you can see he was struggling to position himself as it moved in the winds. Rutherford is penalised for a foot up on Connor Jennings, who turns and asks for the yellow card from the referee. It certainly wasn't that, and Rutherford argues there's as much contact on that as there was in the earlier one between McNulty and Quigley.
Yeah, I certainly didn't see the difference between the two, to be fair.
His foot was up, I don't know how much contact there was on him. It certainly wasn't the yellow that Connor Jennings was asked for. The scrap between the two Jennings brothers isn't going to materialise now either, of course. Now James has gone off injured. So free kick on the halfway line. It's hit flat, miss hit really. But Ginnelly's managed to get there and turn Holroyd. He's 25 yards out, taking on Kelly. Squeezes a shot. Great save by Dunn. He hit it through a crowd of players. It was unexpected, and it was squeezing in the bottom corner. And that was a superb save at full stretch by Dunn, wasn't it?
Yeah, I thought that was sneaking in the corner until Dunn got down and pushed that wide. That was a really good save for the Wrexham keeper.
Yeah, it's a really unexpected strike, wasn't it? Through a crowd, tipped around the post.
Wrexham need to be awake, I think, for the next few minutes and really sort of concentrate on getting the hands on the ball. And I think there's another alteration going on by Pearson. And I don't know what he's saying to the referee, but it's certainly not fancy a point after the match.
Well, Pearson is complaining that he got a kick in the shins. He mimed it like a horse kicking backwards. He's complaining about Cook. Now, I believe that he and Cook are big mates off the pitch, so that's quite interesting. But he's clearly complaining that Cook kicked him. Ball's played in dangerously. Good header clear at the near post. Wedgbury once more. He's everywhere early on. Picked up by Noble in midfield. Nice little ball to Buxton, and he fed it on first time to the left-hand side. Crossing opportunity for Ginelli on his right foot. Good block though. Wedgbury again. Throw into Tranmere. 25 yards out. Tranmere though on the front foot in the opening 10 minutes. Throw which will be taken on the left-hand side by Rydalsh. It's got movement by Connor Jennings, but it's thrown instead to Norman, who breaks down the left-hand side onto his right foot, feeds a neat little ball inside. Jennings on the goal line, just outside the box, cute layoff. Chance for the cross. Rydalsh stands it up under the bar and done does well to push it over his own bar as Cook climbs for him. Wrexham complaining vehemently that Dunn fouled the goalkeeper. They may have had a point, but again, the danger of Cook attacking crosses.
Yeah, very much so. Cook looked very strong in on Dunn as well. I don't know, it's 50-50. Sometimes you think the keeper's got to be stronger. Why didn't Dunn come and push Cook as he came and got it? But at least Dunn got the ball and flicked it over the bar.
But the moment the ball went dead, the argy-bargy started again. Pearson eyeballing Cook. McNulty walked between them and shoved Pearson in the chest. Not overly violently, and Pearson didn't make a fuss of it. But both number 5s have been called to the referee. And they're going to be I'm sure, a talking to and nothing else. Yeah, that's right. He's a tall ref, Mr. Miller, but he's not going to have a go at McNulty and Pearson, is he? Now, will Pearson pick his man up again? He does. It's swung towards Cook, headed down into the goal mouth dangerously, and it's squeezed in, and Tranmere take the lead. It dropped loose in the 6-yard box, and it was shoved home in the end by Sutton. A scrappy goal for Wrexham to concede, but they've started poorly, Andy, and they paid the price.
Yeah, they haven't been in it, really, to be fair, and Tranmere have been the lively side. They had the possession of the ball, and it's a really good goal for Tranmere. You've got to say it was scrappy, but they've sort of deserved it through the pressure, and Wrexham really need to sit down and say, right, hang on, let's get on with this now, and let's see what we can do about it.
Yeah, it was just a ball into the goal mouth. I was wondering after that lecture whether Pearson had time to pick up Cook. He did, but it was just a ball in the 6-yard box. Wrexham didn't clear it. It dropped loose, and on the turn, the centre-back just squeezed a shot in through the crowd of bodies, and it just trickled into the bottom right corner. And Wrexham find themselves behind. They haven't lost a home since the first day of the season, of course. But they haven't got started here at all, Wrexham. From the restart, it's headed away by McNulty. Kelly, sharp ball out to the right-hand side to Roberts on the halfway line. Wedgbury's inside him. Kelly is inside him, and Kelly pops it backwards. Raven's taking up a very advanced position. Pearson sees him and chips a good ball to him. Raven brings it down neatly. Nice ball to the corner of the box. Quickly lets Holroyd take over. Breaks in the area. White shirts all around him. Outnumber him though. And Ginelli clears only as far as Kelly. 25 yards out. Quickly wanted it in early. He squared it instead to Wedgbury. Wedgbury has got Roberts outside him. Threads a more difficult ball. Bowden, lovely flex. Quickly back to goal. 10 yards out. Holds it up beautifully. Turns. Hits it. And scores! What a goal by Quigley! What a response by Wrexham! And Scott Quigley, on his home debut, scores a screamer! That was a great finish by Quigley. Great build-up work. Again, lovely build-up play by Bowden. Super dink assist, but then it was all Quigley backing into his man, spinning, drilling it into the bottom right corner. Andy, game on.
Very much so. First 15 minutes for all Tranmere, but now it's one each, and both sides now will really go for it, and that's got both sets of fans going as well. We wanted a local derby, we've certainly got one on our hands now.
Wow. Well, Wrexham hadn't started until they went behind. We're back now. Quigley has scored 3 goals in his 103-minute Wrexham career so far, as it's not forward and Cook climbs on his man. Free kick to Wrexham, the crowd liked that as well.
It's a particularly good goal by Quigley as well. The way he held the ball up and held off the Tranmere defence and then found the time and space to shoot. Reece Taylor in the Tranmere goal wasn't particularly happy with the amount of time he had there.
Yeah.
Tranmere couldn't seem to get close to him, and I think that was more down to the quality of Quigley more than anything else.
Yeah, from a defensive point of view, Quigley turned his man rather easily, but he did it well. Bowden helps out Quigley again in the box. Last-ditch tackle by Buxton. Good flick on in the air, that was by Bowden. And Quigley, it was difficult to control. He just about brought it down, and it got away from him enough to touch for the centre-back to intervene. Throw into Wrexham, Raven quickly into the box, and Quigley turns his man, wins a corner. Quigley's on fire.
Yeah, very much so. To be fair, that was a Tranmere throw, but never mind.
Corner, left-hand side. It'll be taken by Rutherford. I've got to make a confession, Andy. My headphone's a bit dodgy. I can't really hear what you're saying, so it looks like it was good by you and James's faces. Rutherford sweeps it into the far post. Pearson backpedaling beyond him, headed into the goal mouth, but wide. It was, again, quickly getting up. But wow, he looks so sharp. He's scaring those centre-backs.
Yeah, they can't seem to cope with Quigley at all.
Yeah, he's just pushing in. He's sharp. He's getting to things that are 50-50s. He looks alert. Now, my theory quickly is I think he was brought in to fulfill the Masanka role. He's the on-loan guy who will be cover and will bring a more first-choice striker in January, later in the month. But he's not doing too badly if that's his role, as the goal kick's taken, the wedge will be shoved in the back.
And Holroyd's looking good as well. He's had a couple of nice flicks as well, and so good going.
Bowden and Quigley seem immediately to be able to combine. They seem in the same wavelength, which is down to Bowden's intelligence. He's a smart player. And like I say, Holroyd cuts in. And he's got the intelligence, he can find space.
And sometimes it just works, because we certainly haven't seen the best from Bowden so far this season, I think.
Absolutely, but he's starting to perform in a support role as Pearson puts the free kick into the box. Too much on it, but it's headed behind for a corner. Very peculiar defending that by the Tranmere goal scorer, Sutton, who I can only assume maybe the wind took it and he misjudged it, but it was almost like an attacking header. He ran at it and headed it over his own bar, didn't he?
I think it came off the wrong part of his forehead. He went to sort of head it up the pitch, and basically it came off the top corner and spun out that way, because it was almost looping in the top right-hand corner.
Yeah, just for a second when it left his head, I thought he'd scored. It didn't go close in the end, but it was a very peculiar shape he got himself into. Corner, right-hand side. Kelly signals, swoops it into the jar box. Pearson's been pulled all over the place. He goes down, and the referee gives it. Penalty! It was blatant. I couldn't understand why the ref took so long, if I'm honest with you. But
he thought about it, and I was going to say, what there is there to think about? That has to be a penalty.
Well, how peculiar that is. A penalty to Wrexham. Sutton just had his arm on Pearson's back, pulled his shoulder, and Pearson won the header but couldn't control it, and the referee took his time to think about it, but points to the spot.
And there was no doubt in my mind, it was clear from where we're sitting that was a penalty.
Absolutely. So Holroyd will step up to take it. Taylor on his line. Tranmere have protested, but they didn't have enough grounds for protesting. All honesty, Holroyd gets to go ahead, takes it, scores! Sends Taylor the wrong way. What a start to this huge match here at the race. Scores 17 minutes gone. Wrexham have come from behind. They were losing 5 minutes ago. They're 2-1 up now. Holroyd continues his remarkable scoring record at the racecourse. Wow, this is hot stuff, Andy.
Yeah, game on. You've got to say it was a penalty. There was no doubts about it in my mind, and he just tucked it in the corner. But quite what Sutton was thinking about, I don't know. He just sort of grappled Pearson to the ground. I think Pearson was actually trying to stay on his feet.
Madness.
Very bizarre, but it's given us a good start to the game now.
It's quite a start, but Holroyd and Quigley have goals. Wrexham 2-1 up from 1-0 down already, and the ground united in shouting, "You're not singing anymore," the Tranmere fan, who, to be fair, are singing. But nonetheless, let's not let the facts get in the way of a good chance. As Tranmere restarts, this is not over. Oh, well done, Raven. It was a good restart, good diagonal, and good stretch to clear it by Raven.
And for a man in a very difficult position, I would say, Raven is. He's made 2 or 3 good chances to his Wrexham career. Good touches, I should say.
He started very well as Raven. Here's Tranmere now. Holroyd with a hard tackle, but Raven's beaten to it by Giannelli. It drops loose. Oh, Raven's done well to sort his feet out there and just poke the ball out for another throw-in, level the edge of the area. So it's a chance now for Sutton to throw it in, and it's swung into the far post. Dangerously, Cook attacks it. Good stretching header clear by Pearson. Kelly can't get to it, edge of the area. He manages to tackle Buxton, the right back, as he comes forward, and Holroyd clears quickly. Nearly gets out ahead of McNulty. Another 50-50. Kelly has won it brilliantly. He's got opportunities inside him here. He works it with the outside of his foot across the halfway line to Rutherford. Rutherford bursting forwards. Roberts outside him, takes over. 3 bodies in the box. Roberts takes on his man. Shouldn't have done. He's run into trouble and is not going to get the free kick, quite rightly. Now he's going to stop stop Norburn from clearing. Norburn does well to just stab the ball out to the right, and Giannelli has a lot of space to run into. Raven had stayed back. He waits for him. It's fed to the edge of the area. Norburn is dispossessed beautifully by Wedgbury, who lifts it over the top, but quickly gone too soon and doesn't chase it because it would have been offside. Wrexham have succeeded so far in keeping Norburn quiet. He's a dangerous customer. Good work that at the back to shut him down.
Very much so. I think Pearson is having a cracking game.
It's worked over to the left-hand side by Tranmere. Rideout, the left-back, stands it up over the top. He's looking for Norburn, but it's too strong. And Pearson, under no pressure, brings it under control in the edge of his area. And he thrashes it long. The wind takes that, and it drops behind the defence, and quickly he's chasing that. It's going to be beaten to it, though. It's smashed away by Sutton. Headed on by Wedgbury, Quigley unchallenged, flicks it on. Bowden can't quite beat McNulty to it, which obviously means McNulty had a fair head start on him. But Rideout turns and has to hack it out of play, throwing 10 yards into Tranmere's half, right-hand side.
Tranmere looking a bit shaky at the back, for my liking.
They are, aren't they? Wrexham are managing to get at them. They're winning the ball high up the pitch. It's promising. So is Pearson just struggling a little bit himself as he seems to be holding his hip. Let's hope that's something trivial. As Hurst has gone warming up. So obviously he's communicated to the bench. He's not quite right. It's his back he seems to be stretching for Pearson as he stands on the halfway line. Roberts with the throws it in short to Holroyd. He's popped up on the right flank into midfield. Kelly, not the best first touch, but he's fed it on. Wedgbury, snappy little ball to Roberts, that's good. Return ball, Roberts 35 yards out, feeds it down the flank. Rutherford, good passing this by Wrexham. There's movement towards the edge of the area. Roberts maybe could have delivered something there. A couple of players asking for it, but instead Wrexham work it around. Roberts down the line. Rutherford, he's unlucky there. Well, maybe being generous, he's given it away and it ricocheted off him. Throw to Tranmere. Wrexham the chance to deliver possibly there, having sucked Tranmere's defence out a little bit.
I think they missed the opportunity to pressurise them just with a cross, but
throw in taken. Ridehouse knocks it long. Cook helps it on. Roberts has time to bring it down, and he hooks it down the line. Bowden jumps, wins a good header. Quickly now against Sutton. Sutton only knocked down to Bowden, and he attempts to kill a pass, but unluckily doesn't get enough on it. It was an ambitious idea as Holroyd made a run out to win and tried to get in behind the centre-backs. Ball smashed over the top of Wrexham's defence. Giannelli will do well to keep that in, and he can't. Throw into Wrexham on the left-hand side, level the edge of their own area.
Giannelli looks quite useful as well for Tranmere.
He does, he's quick. He's got the attributes, I feel, of an orthodox right-back, a right-winger, but he can come inside as well. And now Pearson is down on his knees. Oh, we don't need this.
No.
We've lost Jennings already, injured. Pearson's not, well, as James actually pointed it out, off the ball, didn't look right. And he's needing treatment too. And Wrexham, well, we couldn't afford to lose the whole left side of our back four, can we?
And then it would have to be Hurst, I expect, and then Raven inside.
Absolutely. Well, the treatment doesn't last long. He's walking off the sides of the pitch. I hope that's a positive sign.
Yeah, magic spray doing its stuff.
Looks like he may need more. No, he's been walked off by the physio. Roberts at the moment is tucking in. And we're going to have a restart. Raven's taking a throw. Pearson's in his way. Strange little setup here. His body language, Pearson looks like he's going to be asked to come back in straight away. Throw-in's taken quickly, flicks her on. Pearson is back on the pitch. They keep an eye on him. The ball's knocked forwards. Kelly only heads it up in the air, but then it's miscontrolled by Cook dropping deep, and Bowden digs out a ball to the left flank. It's a nice idea. Awkward for Quigley, who does really well to control it with his head, and then cuts inside and switches beautifully towards Rutherford. That's a fine ball. Rutherford takes on his man, then flicks it backwards to Roberts. Inside to Wedgbury in the centre circle. Kelly's offering. Kelly, not the best pass. Lovely work by Kelly. Skips away from Jay Harris's wild tackle. Referee points to Harris to say, I saw that, but he continues play. So he didn't make contact with Kelly, who now feeds it to Raven. First time ball is overhit, although it's swinging in the wind and lands on the roof of the net, and the Wrexham fans were having fun as they taunted the ex-Wrexham keeper Rhys Taylor.
Yeah, I suppose there was an opportunity for the drop over his head, but I don't think it ever was.
No, it's always just going, but the wind taking it was awkward. So a crazy first half of the first half has gone very, very quickly, Andy, as well. Tell us how you think the game stands at the moment, and then James will take us through to half-time.
I was very concerned about Wrexham from the starting first sort of 5 to 10 minutes. Tranmere was certainly on top, and Sutton sort of deservedly put Tranmere ahead, and then from there on, Wrexham just seemed to grab the game by the scuff of the horns.
There's another Wrexham player down now as Chris Holroyd is on the floor holding his stomach by the looks of it, just on the halfway line, and players The ball's gone out for play on the far side of the cross to the Mole Road. As the referee comes across now, but Holroyd seems to be gathering to his feet, and Wrexham can't really, with a paper-thin squad, be suffering all these injuries, Andy.
Yeah, James, it's not really a dirty game, but there's quite a lot of pushing and shoving going on.
Well, Holroyd is back to his feet, and Pearson seems to be coping. I think hopefully the plan will probably be to get through to half-time and then reassess, but early debut for Raven, and almost scored with that cheeky lob, stroke cross, but I think even Reece Taylor wouldn't have wanted that one as Wrexham restart with throw-in. It's at the line. Headed back, and now up for Quigley, who gets a header inside for Holroyd to chase, but Tranmere clear that up, back to Reece Taylor. Quigley tries to close him down, but Taylor launches it long. Back into the midfield where Raven meets it. Heads it back towards McNulty, who brings it down to Harris. Harris immediately finds Ginelli with a pass, but Raven's there underneath it. Balls nicely for Norburn. Norburn back out to Ginelli on the right. Gets the cross in, deflected nicely by Raven, and falls to Kelly, who turns and gets it to Bowden. Bowden's got space here and turns. Finds the on-rushing Rutherford over on the right-hand side in front of the Mole Road. He's got 2 to beat. Tries to dink it inside, it gets deflected off, and he gets it back. Back to Roberts now. Roberts into Quigley, controls it, turns, lays it off to Bowden on the inside. Bowden with a long-range shot over the top of the bar. Did have an overlapping Raven there as well.
Yeah, I was going to say, I thought Raven was the better option, but sometimes you can't blame a player for having a go.
No, absolutely, and hopefully this 22 minutes is as exciting as the first 22 minutes, because that went from I went through all motions there, from 1-0 down to equalising to we've got a penalty, let's score it, and we do score it. So 2-1 the score here on Calon FM. It's been an interesting start.
Yeah, I'm still in shock that the way Pearson was grappled to the ground, I just didn't see the need for it.
No, absolutely. There's Reece Taylor, right-footed, takes the goal kick, and it's head tennis between Wedgbury and Cook. Miss hit there by Norburn. He tries to spread play, but Connor Jennings is not going to get that one in, and it'll be a throw into Wrexham. 20 yards inside their own half in the 26th minute. 2-1 here to Wrexham. Goals from Sutton for Tranmere in the 11th minute. An equaliser from Scott Quigley on his home debut. And then 17th minute, a penalty on the foul, as Andy mentioned, on Pearson, and Holroyd converted. Jay Harris wins the flick header. Manny Smith is there, and we'll see it out of play as the on-rushing Norwood tries to poach that one.
The games just seem to calm down after those frantic sort of 10 minutes.
Yeah, for me, Wrexham never got into the game in the first 10 minutes. Tranmere came out of the docks, and Tranmere probably scored the goal, although it was a bit of a melee, the goal they deserved, and Wrexham hadn't got into it, and then suddenly find themselves 2-1 up. But yeah, it's settled into the game you expected now, as Jay Harris tackled by Holroyd. The crowd appreciate that one, but it falls for Sutton, who spreads play out to Buxton. Buxton cuts inside to Harris. Harris tries to chip on for Cook. Cook tries to duck under it, and Pearson wins the header, and it falls for Wedgbury, who can restart play. So Rutherford, who's got room to run. He's got Bowden and Quigley up front. No real support, and there's 4 Tranmere players around him. Has to go back to Wedgbury. Wedgbury on the halfway line. Back to Rutherford out on the far touchline in front of the Roll Road, and he has to go back to Roberts. Roberts now looking for Bowden with a long ball. Bowden pushed in the back by Sutton, but not given, as Connor Jennings brings it down. Threads it in to Cook, who first touch goes off looking for his strike partner. Gunn, however, will get to it and launches it back up front, where McNulty is challenged by Quigley, and Quigley gets ahead. Offside though. Nice to see Quigley not afraid to duel with the big man McNulty.
Yeah, because he is a big man and well built as well, but he's quite skillful with the ball.
Yeah, he is. My first time seeing Scott Quigley in a Wrexham shirt, having not made the trip to Hartlepool last week, but I saw the highlights, which were excellently put together by Mark and the team, and great type of goals that Wrexham haven't scored so far this season. Pearson launches it long. Connor Jennings is underneath it with Bowden, and falls nicely for Rutherford. Rutherford under immediate pressure from Norburn, and Connor Jennings now gives chase and gets the ball on the byline, gets the ball into Cook. Cook on the edge of the 18-yard box takes a first-time shot, but is blocked by Manny Smith and rolls out to the far for a throw-in over in the far corner of the Mole Road stand, right on the byline. Jennings will take this. He's got Ridehouse in support.
Wrexham just need to sort of raise it up a bit more now, and just sort of Tranmere seem to be getting back on top. They just need to really sort of just get the ball and just pass it around a bit more.
Absolutely, as Connor Jennings gives up throwing duties to Ridehouse, and he looks for Connor Jennings. There's a handball there, the referee's not seen it, and Tranmere allowed to play on, tries to get the cross in, Rutherford blocks it. Back to Connor Jennings, who can't quite get it out of his feet, but does now. And Rutherford and Roberts working together, and well as a pair there to keep the threat at bay, but goes out for another throw-in. Ridehouse will try again. Again finds Connor Jennings. Connor Jennings comes back inside to Norburn. Norburn's got Buxton out wide, doesn't get him. Harris does though with the first touch. It's a poor one, and Quigley can give chase, but Buxton has to go back to his own half, and now back to McNulty. McNulty into Norburn. Norburn can turn, he's got Jay Harris in support, doesn't use him, tries to find Ginelli. It's a good ball inside Raven, but the experienced fullback making his home debut knows that's going out. And Ginelli, I think you mentioned it, although again with the same headphone issues that Mark had, I couldn't quite hear it. Does look a lively, pacey player.
Yes, very much so for me. He's again on loan to Tranmere. He looks like a good signing. He seems very quick and very confident on the ball.
Yeah, they've made a couple of these signings out wide. I know the lad they had from Portsmouth that they signed permanently. He's been injured most of the season. I can't. His name escapes. No, not Stockton Cole. He took some great shots against us last year, and he looked handy. But if I remember his name, I'll bring it up. But they do seem to be able to bring these wide players in from on loan. As Holroyd gives chase to a ball he shouldn't win, and puts Buxton under pressure, and Buxton concedes, gets the bounce off Holroyd, and we'll have a throw in front of us over here, in front of the Tranmere box. As he launches it, Raven challenges and gets the second ball. And only find Norburn, who spreads the ball nicely to Ridehouse. He'll come over the halfway line and try and take on Rutherford. Still going Ridehouse. He's got Connor Jennings' support. He's dropped back, and Rutherford body checks him. And it is probably a foul. It'll be a free kick in front of the Mould Road, halfway into the half.
There's no doubt about that. Rutherford was beaten, and he just body checked him to stop him going forward. Yeah, an opportunity for Tranmere to load the box here, although it has caused some issues with Pearson and his foe of Andy Cook so far. That seems to be this week's pantomime villain. Although there'll be several people in this crowd that would have liked to have seen him in a red shirt. Tranmere then, 2 men over the ball. Only 2 men in the wall for Wrexham. Rutherford and Bowden just stopping the cross. Quigley stayed up with McNulty and Buxton. Everyone else inside the Wrexham penalty area. Ball's delivered left-footed. Under Pearson. Cook gets there. Brilliant save by Dunn. One-handed diving to his left. Pearson misjudged it in the air. Cook gets a header. Does what you should do. Puts it down, and Dunn with a diving header. That was a high-class save from Weinbach. As you say, Pearson missed it, and he's no more reliable, and then Cook put it where you want it to go, and Dunn just dived down to his left and flicked it back onto the pitch. He was just lucky that the ball fell to a Wrexham player rather than a Tranmere player. Yeah, for all of Dunn's critics, and me at times included, he is a good shot stopper, and he's proved it there. It's Chris Holroyd gets the first yellow card of the game for a challenge on Buxton. Nothing too nasty really, but the referee's obviously seen enough in this derby that he needs to get a card out and try and bring the tone down, and it'll be a free kick now over here in front of the stand, 8th level of the 18-yard box, and it'll be Buxton to deliver right hand side. Delivers it near post, it goes through everyone and hits Pearson and falls to Jay Harris on the post, who can only snap at it, and it goes over the top of the bar. Luckily for Wrexham, dangerous ball in, and goes across the 6-yard box, evades everyone and sort of hits Pearson in the chest, ricochets up, and no one from Tranmere is there luckily this time. It was almost a comedy moment, because of quite what Pearson was playing at with clearing the ball, and it dropped straight to Jay Harris. Jay Harris was sort of on the penalty spot almost. You'd expect him to convert that one, to be honest, and I was just waiting for the net to bulge, and instead I suppose it fell to his wrong foot. He hit it left-footed, and it's a bit like my left foot, and he just went well wide. I think Wrexham were lucky there. Yeah, well, we know Jay Harris can hit them. He has scored a few goals, not many, but he got a hat-trick last year at one point, so here comes Wrexham as the game's restarted, and Tranmere have in possession. Good thumping challenge by Wedgbury. Timed well, and the crowd appreciate that one. It goes back to former Reds keeper Reece Taylor, who signed on loan recently from Fylde.
Cook wins the header, falls to Pearson. Pearson brings the ball down, immediately looks to go long for Bowden, but overstruck in this way. No, it's almost bounced over the top of Taylor, who nonchalantly, one hand, drags it back into possession and tries to look confident. It didn't really faze him, but he's just kicked that, suggesting perhaps it did. Buxton wins the header, finds Raven. Raven puts it out of play. He's looked composed and competent so far, Raven.
Yeah, very much so, especially given they had no time to even sort of get his mindset for coming on. It was just like, on you go, you know you're playing in perhaps not the position you'd want to be. He's done really well, I think.
Yeah, experience at right back and centre half. As Tranmere spread play and Rutherford gives chase, and the crowd disappointed he didn't get there. He put so much effort in, but Connor Jennings does get it and manages to get a throw off Roberts over on the far side. Roberts back to Ridehouse. Ridehouse cuts inside, bypasses Norburn to find Buxton. Buxton, though, does go back to Norburn, harried by Bowden. That's great play by Bowden. And the referee doesn't like it, though, and does give the free kick. They say play to the whistle. The referee doesn't like blowing his whistle. I think he just seems to make a decision, and the players seem to understand it. There is the ref's whistle, as Bowden has a word with him asking where the whistle was.
And Tranmere seem very good at switching the ball from side to side, pressurising Wrexham.
Yeah, they're content to have play, but Wrexham's almost seem content to let them do so. As Norwood takes it into Connor Jennings, who takes a first-time shot, but Wedgbury's there with the block. Comes back and Wedgbury gets the block in again and releases Quigley. Can he get there before it hits the byline? Almost does so, and tries to hit it off McNulty, but doesn't quite get it round. And tall lad, but he's definitely got some pace, Quigley, and McNulty was treading water at times there.
It's nice to Wrexham to have that sort of out, really, when they're under pressure. If you can play sort of quickly in and he can hold the ball up and move Wrexham forward, that'll be a really good advantage.
Yeah, so far he's done what was Pearson almost sells Dunn short on an easy back pass, but Dunn's launch it long and McNulty beats Bowden in the air. It falls to Kelly, who chests it down, but Gianelli comes from behind and robs him of it. Norburn into the feet of Cook. Cook lays off his strike partner Norwood, and Raven's there, but it falls nicely for Cook, who tries to turn onto his left foot, gets the deflection from the great block flying in from Roberts and falls to Dunn. Dunn collects it in both hands as Norwood just sniffs around to see if anything's doing. But yeah, Quigley, for me, he's doing the job that George Miller did for us, but obviously the goals have helped as well. But yeah, he's that player that offers a bit more size, plenty of running and a bit of pace, and isn't afraid to run the channels and go wide.
Very much so.
Roberts comes over the halfway line into Bowden. Bowden lets it run cleverly, but Quigley's not quite there, and Sutton can clear. But of course, Kelly switches play. Raven's got a more advanced road. He's into the half as he plays it inside to Holroyd. Gets it back. It's forced back into Kelly on the halfway line. Kelly back out to the byline at Raven. Quickly closed down and tries a long ball with this wind into Bowden. Falls nicely for Reece Taylor on the bounce.
Yeah, nice idea from Raven, but the ball was just a bit too long.
Yeah, you can see he's played a decent standard of football and a lot of experience. He's straight away playing the right type of balls into the right type of areas, and will gel well quickly with this team, because this team's disciplined and coached very much like a league side. McNulty now chased by Bowden, plays a cool and calm ball round the corner to his defensive partner Sutton, who launches it long looking for Connor Jennings. Connor Jennings uses his hand again, not penalised. Back to Jay Harris. Jay Harris has got lots of space and holds it to his right hand side to Norburn. Norburn can advance forward, beats Kelly, tries to play the 1-2, gets a 1-2 and gets a shot away, but it's blocked by Manny Smith and goes out in front of the Yale stands, 6 yards out for a throw-in.
We're just sitting a bit too deep. Norburn and Harris have just got a bit too much space. We need Wedgbury and Kelly to come into that and close them down a bit more and stop them playing the ball in and around that. We're just sitting on our 18-yard box and not pressurising quite as quickly as I'd like.
And throw-in comes in and Holroyd management said, yeah, I think I agree with you, Andy, but I think this is the tactics that Dean's playing. I think this is what he wants, this inviting pressure and allowing the counter-attack. But I think it is a dangerous game. You're right, we're sitting too deep, and I think you could do it, but we need to put a bit more pressure on this midfield as Tranmere take the throw-in again. Buxton under immediate pressure from Wedgbury and appeals for a catch onto Buxton, but I think Comes clear through as Jay Harris plays a long ball into the box. Manny Smith underneath it and clears. Holroyd gets a good touch to Raven. Gets it back. Raven under pressure but does well. And he finds Norwood. Norwood plays it forward looking for Cook, and Wedgbury can clear. McNulty though sets Ridehouse free, and Quigley has got there where he doesn't deserve to get there and gets a block in, and that's what the round of applause is for, because it's forced Tranmere back into the Old Road 20 yards inside their own half for a throw-in when they look to counter-attack.
Yeah, it's forced Tranmere back, and I think that was the beauty of that block.
Absolutely. Breaks up play and breaks up what Tranmere are trying to do. Is Reece Taylor switches the side of his box and waits to launch. Does so now, right-footed. Ravens underneath it as the ball goes to Ginelli, but it goes harmlessly out of play just in front of Dean Keats, and he applauds Ravens' effort so far as he sends instructions out to Roberts to come closer and close the gap. Long throw into Quigley. Quigley one touch under pressure from two players, but gets it back to Wedgbury. Wedgbury to Roberts on the halfway line over on the Mould Road side. Still 2-1 to Wrexham. Back to Wedgbury. Wedgbury comes forward, plays inside to Holroyd. Holroyd under pressure and flows back to Roberts. It's a bit behind him and Roberts has to go back. Still in possession though, Roberts. And Roberts now back to Dunn. Dunn closed by Norwood quickly. He tries to look for Raven, but the Wrexham's goalkeeper this time inaccurate with his kick-in, and it goes out for a throw-in on the halfway line. Buxton will take. Buxton into McNulty, gets it back. Drops the shoulder and quickly falls for it. Norburn now comes forward under pressure from Holroyd. Finds Conor Jennings. Conor Jennings tries to find Ridehouse, but Rutherford is there brilliantly. Tries that early ball looking for Quigley, but should have held on to it then. Quigley's got two men and was on the back foot. Ball drops to Norwood. Norwood twisting and turning and eventually finds Ridehouse out on the left-hand side. Ball delivered first time. Dunn catches, claims it well. Under no real pressure, but had to deal with it. Just calms things down. Looks to set Roberts free, but the lively Norwood for Tranmere is chasing down and closes that option up, and Dunn will take more than the allocated 6 seconds, which seems to be a rule that gets ignored by most referees. So McNulty's underneath the header. Finds the Wrexham captain Pearson with his header, and then you find Ginelli who dinks one forward. It looks like he would overhit that, but it landed nicely. Raven inside to Wedgbury. Wedgbury under pressure. Kelly skips it out and lets Pearson deal with it. Bowden challenges Buxton and then gets challenged back. Bit of a hand on there, and Norwood wins the header. No team really taking control this last few minutes. Holroyd now on the outside, comes in, cuts inside from the left. Tries to release Rutherford, who swap flanks. It's back to Pearson after the ricochet. Pearson launches long looking for Bowden. Bowden pushed in the back, and Sutton could easily nod it back to Reece Taylor. Nothing given from the referee, and he releases Norburn, who can bring it forward to Ridehouse, who crosses the halfway line. First time ball around the corner from Norwood, looking for Conor Jennings. Conor Jennings gets the better of Roberts, but he has to use his arm to do so.
Yeah, there's a sneaky push by Conor Jennings just as he came in. He pushed him down to get to the ball. It was a good decision by the ref. I wasn't sure he was going to give it.
Yeah, I wasn't at first, and the referee finally found his whistle.
Yeah, it seems a bit slow to find his whistle. Or...
Yeah, I mean, he's given the decisions. He just doesn't seem to make much noise about doing so. But I can't complain. He did give an obvious penalty in our favour. As Dunn takes his time, and will hopefully see us through to half-time as we get into the 42nd minute. Still 2-1 here on Calon FM to Wrexham. To trailing 1-0. Wrexham hit back with 2 quick goals. And the ball will be restarted from Ridehouse just inside the Tranmere half in front of the Mould Road stand. And Lex to go back to Sutton. Sutton brings it forward under no real pressure yet. Now Bowden makes a move and he forces the long ball, and it goes to Pearson, who can clear up. Looking for Bowden. Bowden tries to chest it down, again pushed. Gets a 1-2 with Rutherford. Rutherford gets it back and is challenged by Jay Harris and doesn't get any of the ball, and there'll be the first yellow card for a Tranmere player.
I'd love to see that again. I wasn't convinced there was much contact.
Yeah, I think it's a harsh yellow card, but I think he's just squaring up the yellow cards for the half, and trying to stamp some authority on the tackles, but I don't think it's, like you said before, I don't think it's been a nasty challenge. Just been a few little shoves and pushes that have possibly gone undisciplined. But it'll be Wrexham to restart play. Kelly over the ball, 20 yards inside our half, almost in the centre of the pitch. Wrexham just leaving Roberts back at the moment. All the big guns have gone forward. Kelly raises his hand, delivers, left-footed. Easily dealt with by Connor Jennings, and Ginelli lashes at it and clears it downfield to Roberts. Roberts back to Dunn, and Norwood does chase down, but Dunn's got enough time to launch this and almost gets there. Bowden lets it run, and quite a clever idea. Quigley probably wouldn't have got there, but
just too quick for Quigley, wasn't it? The ball wanted to hit a lot of pace off the ground.
Yeah, and didn't really get much height on it. It was just a zipping through ball, so we're never going to really get it. But Pearson with the header seems to have shaken off that back injury at least to get him through to half-time. Buxton with the feint, back to McNulty. McNulty into the corner. Ginelli sells Raven there, but leaves his foot in. I think Raven is conned out of a free kick there. I think Ginelli sort of leaves his foot in, waiting for some kind of contact.
Yeah, I think very much Ginelli played for that, and there's 4 minutes of extra time, well, not extra time, sort of injury time to be played, which seems, well, it's not really surprising the amount of time with Jennings was down.
Yeah, Jennings was down twice, I suppose, and Pearson as well, so it's I suppose also we've had 3 goals and a couple of substitutions, so about fair really. But it'll be Buxton will take the free kick on this right hand side, level with the edge of the 18-yard box, over in front of the Yale. 2-man wall again. Holroyd right hand delivered. Oh, it's 2-2. Andy Cook with a great header, bullet header, very reminiscent of Pearson's header a few weeks back. Nothing you can do really. Great delivery, and Pearson came to. Cook comes straight through the middle of the defence and right into the top corner.
Yeah, well, it was well finished and a well worked free kick. Frustration really, like Ginelli played for it. I think it was a free kick, but we should have seen that coming. But also disappointing there wasn't somebody on the front post. It's one of my favourites. If in that sort of position, put people on both posts, and then you've got a chance of stopping that. Disappointing from Wrexham. I think they've with them going ahead, they've slowed in the last 10 minutes, and I think that showed. And I think it's 2-2 is probably a fair result at half time now.
Yeah, I think no team's dominated. Probably Tranmere have had the better of possession, so yeah, 2-2 is probably a fair result, but for the half at least. But yeah, our defence, as much as it looks strong, we do tend to get caught out or under pressure at set pieces. As the play is restarted and Manny Smith gets the header, the ball drops into no man's land, and Norburn gets it and Manny Smith can come forward. Jay Harris challenges him, good challenge. Norwood can break. Gets it to Connor Jennings. Connor Jennings has got a support with Ginelli across the side and turns back. Doesn't elect to find him and goes back to his midfield partner Norwood. Back to Jennings after the deflection. Now Norwood. Buxton wants it. Ball played long though. Falls kindly for his first time shot. And deflects wide, luckily for Wrexham, as Chris Dunn had committed to the shot. And comes off a Wrexham player for a corner, and Tranmere looking the stronger team these final few minutes.
Yeah, I think it's really important for Wrexham, obviously, to keep it at 2-2 and go into half time and try and sort of come up in the second half with a bit more gusto about them.
Yeah, they'll want to make a statement. And it'll be Ginelli right-footed with the corner. Wrexham have this time left Bowden up front, and Tranmere have sent McNulty forward this time. In comes the ball. It's met by, it looked like Cook again, but this time he can't directly header goalward and puts it over the top.
I think more of the point, Cook had two people on him marking him, so he did win the ball, but with having 2 people, one front and one back of him as well, it made getting a good contact on it more difficult.
My apologies, it was Norwood actually with the header that time, but quite both big lumps and sometimes a bit difficult to identify which one's which, but luckily for Wrexham, not as accurate as Cook's header a few minutes earlier. He's done switches sides now with his goal kicks. possibly to eat out a bit more time on the clock and get us through to half-time to perhaps settle the nerves as you suggested, Andy.
Yeah, very much so. I think Wrexham have gone quiet in the last 5 minutes, and I don't think that's a good thing. I think when we went 2-1 up, we should have really tried to really push on, and we sort of sat back, as I was saying. We didn't pressurise them, and Tranmere are moving the ball around better than Wrexham at the moment.
Yeah. Tranmere play the ball back to Reece Taylor's horrible first touch. Almost goes out for a corner. And that will be the final play of the half. Join us for the second half as we go on Calon FM and half-time analysis.
You're listening to Wrexham Football Club commentary live on Calon FM, brought to you by the Wrexham AFC Media Team. Every kick, every goal, every moment, home and away. Coming up next, half-time match analysis followed by the second half of today's game. Follow all of the action live and exclusive here on Calon FM. Listen on 105 FM, online at calonfm.com or via the TuneIn radio app. Follow us on Twitter at Calon FM and at Commentary WAFC. Wrexham AFC on Calon FM. Whenever, wherever. Calon FM.
So the half-time score here at the racecourse: Wrexham 2, Tranmere Rovers 2. A real action-packed affair. I don't think Wrexham, Andy, can really complain about that scoreline, because as you were saying in summary, we had that spell after they scored and until we scored, and maybe it carried on for another couple of minutes afterwards when we really got at them and we caused them problems at the back. But I think apart from that, to be fair, the game's mostly been played in Wrexham's half. Yeah, Tranmere, I'd love to see the possession stats. I think Tranmere have definitely had more possession, and I'm quite concerned the amount of space Harris and Norborn are getting in front of the Wrexham back four and midfield. We're not seeing as much as Wedgbury and Kelly seem to be hanging off a bit. It's not quite what I'd like. I'd like to see those two really pressurising them and chasing it down there, and that's not happening. And then also that would give more chance to Reece Quigley. Quigley's getting on the end of things, but he's just getting scraps again at the moment, which is a bit disappointing. Yeah, absolutely. Quigley's looked lively, hasn't he? I like to say he's the sort of player who can attack scraps. He feels like the sort of player you can just launch something forwards and he'll chase things down. I suppose the first goal he scored at Hartlepool illustrated that perfectly. But the problem is that is all he's been able to work from, pretty much, apart from that spell when we got on top. And as you said a number of times in the first half, and I wholeheartedly agree, we needed to keep on like that, keep the foot on their throats and drive it home, because at that point I felt, we could pile it on here, but now I feel nervous about the second half, if I'm honest. Yeah, I was kind of hoping we'd get to the sort of half-time break 2-1 up, but obviously Tranmere have got back in it. It's going to be an interesting second half. There's definitely goals in it, and I can see this ending both sides getting a couple, so it could be 3-3 or 4-2 to somebody. It's going to be a very interesting half. I think that's the thing, and Rutherford's really got to work on his decision making. I really like Rutherford when he's got the ball at his feet and going forwards, but I think twice in this half he's made some very poor decisions about where to put the ball. Once he had a real good chance to cross and he didn't, and another chance he just played the wrong ball. Yeah, I was thinking, James, picking up what Andy said, Rutherford's had a couple of moments where maybe he could have delivered better, but also he hasn't quite managed to find the space, I think, to really influence games as he can.
No, and he's up against a decent National League standard left-hand side there. You've got Connor Jennings, who works hard, and Rideout is one of the better left-backs in this division, so space is going to be at a premium. Yeah, it's very difficult to see. I think you've got the work rate there of Rutherford, and yeah, he's not had the rub of the green today, perhaps with what we're used to seeing. But would McCreth offer anything different? He offers a pace option, yeah. But I don't know. Perhaps Akil Wright's energy in that midfield, and then pushing Kelly out wide and letting him play. But do we become very narrow then with Holroyd also pushing in? So. I agree with Andy's point. I think we're sitting back too far, but at the same time, I think it's. I think that's very much the part of the game plan that we're inviting the pressure and then pushing on. It's a different type of football to watch, and maybe the crowd aren't used to that. But so far, it's worked for us in a way. And strangely, we've conceded 2 goals from balls delivered into the box and not dealt with them, really.
Yeah, 2 goals from set pieces, which you don't tend to. But I must say, that's the other thing that's bothered me. And once I handed commentary over to you, and I was sitting just looking at it, and I just kept thinking, stop giving free kicks away. We've been giving a number of free kicks away in midfield and in advanced wide positions. Ultimately, we paid for it, which a free kick, which was a silly free kick to give away. I felt. I mean, okay, maybe the Tranmere player made a bit of a drama of it, but Ravens grabbed hold of him when a long ball down the flank. I'm not convinced it's going to be kept in. If it is, he's down by the corner flag. We can block him in, and he's given a free kick away on the corner of the box. Wonderful delivery, magnificent header. But we've given away all these free kicks in our half. Even a good defence like us, there's a chance they're going to get punished.
Yeah, you're right. If you're inviting pressure, if you're allowing teams to have an advantage of delivering a set piece from an advantageous position, then yeah, eventually it's going to bite you, and it did. And Cook, as much as can be that pantomime villain that we know he possibly is, and he is a good target man, and he works defence, and that type of ball he's going to thrive on all day. And good, well taken header. Yeah, you're right. We need to stop surrendering easy free kicks. And for me, try and get some more of our attacking game going. You're right, Quigley does feed on scraps, but let's feed him some proper balls and see what he can do with them. That would be. We haven't, as much as there's been some nice little interplay between Bowden, Holroyd, and himself. It's not been as often as I'd like, and it's not been as clean as I'd like.
Yeah, I agree. Bowden's got his head up and has had little moments where he's popped things on, not least for the first Quigley goal. But apart from that spell, that sort of 10-minute golden spell from their goal onwards, I don't think we've really got the ball down in their half enough, and that means those players aren't close enough to combine, are they?
Exactly. And if the game plan is to absorb pressure and let their Tranmere come in, when we do get the ball, we need to make sure it's quality delivered, a quality touch and a quality layoff, so that we can take advantage of that rather than let pressure build back up onto us all the time, because the more we allow pressure to come on it, the more opportunity they've got to deliver balls, the more opportunity they've got to win free kicks.
Absolutely right, absolutely. Well, we'll turn attention away from Tranmere for the moment, because we'll have plenty more attention on them in a little bit. A couple of interesting points. Well, an Ask Wrexham question, and keep sending those in, hashtag ASKWXM on Twitter. But an Ask Wrexham question, which actually came at the very end of last week's match, and I didn't notice this at the time, and so we're going back to it. It's from Mark Griffiths, not me. There are other lucky people in the world with my name.
More famous, good-looking Mark Griffiths.
Absolutely, yes. I don't know which one you're referring to, and I'd like it to stay that way for the sake of my ego. But he asked a really good question, which was, why can Holroyd score lots of goals in home games and not in away games? And it's a corker. I mean, I think I'm right. After that penalty, he's now scored 11 goals at the racecourse. He scored 1 away from the racecourse. Admittedly, it was quite a good one against it, because it won the derby at Tranmere. But that's a hell of a stat. So as you've got the mic in your hand, James, you're going to have to go first, and because you gave me a coherent answer when I talked about it beforehand, before the match. Andy, you're going to have a moment to think about this one. I've had a week to think about it, and I haven't got an answer, so maybe that's what good luck.
The only reason I can sort of give, and I don't know if there's any logic behind this, the way we set up away from home isn't as open play as we do at home. And Holroyd is allowed a lot more license to wander, license to come inside when we're at home, so therefore pops up in more goal scoring areas and seems to get on the end of them. We don't tend to create a lot of chances away from home generally. So if we're not creating away goal chances, then it doesn't matter who's on the end of them, we're not going to score them. So I don't know if that sort of answers the question or not, but it's certainly my interpretation of it is, if we're not creating as many chances away from home from the pattern of play, we seem to very much be set up to defend and then get a goal rather than attack or soak up pressure. Apart from in recent weeks when we've been a bit more expansive. Since Miller came into the side, and now quickly sort of done that role. But certainly before that stage, we were very lump it up top and hope, run the channels, and then maybe get it to the lone striker in the centre half, which invariably wouldn't be Holroyd. Holroyd would be the one that go out wide in the part of the strike partner.
I've just worked out a rudimentary stats-based answer to this. I was just looking down at the games, and I mean, there is a sort of bottom line issue which takes Holroyd almost out of the equation. We don't score goals in away games. Amazingly, for a team that's right up there at the top of the table, the Hartlepool game's only the second time this season we scored 2 goals in an away match. Our away scoring record is pretty hideous. Now, since we've started scoring goals with Holroyd out wide on the left-hand side, so that's the configuration that might lead us to score more away goals, we've actually only played 1 away game. So it could also be said, possibly, that that sounds stupid, is it? Is it too soon to judge him in away games because we are not scoring in away games? I've got the stats up now. So in home games, we have scored 22 in 16, and we got 2 more already today. In away games, we scored 7 in 15. So we're scoring nearly 1.5 goals a game in home matches. We're scoring 2/3 of a goal a match in away games, which is clearly not enough. So we've only, since we've gone into this more attacking configuration, Kelly in the middle, Holroyd out wide, we've only played 1 away game. So there's only been 1 away match we've played, if you see, where we have got a goal threat. Maybe that links into the Holroyd thing, or maybe not. I'm not sure it made sense there, Andy, but any thoughts on this?
I would probably go along with that sort of thing, because for me, once we release Masanka and Reid, Holroyd is playing in a more forward position, I feel, and in a slightly different position. There has been a change of staff up front, with Quickly coming in as well. And I think it just may be too early to tell.
Yeah.
My other thought is the racecourse pitch is quite a big ground and quite a big pitch as well, and there's a bit more space for players to move around and create a bit more opportunity up front. And some of the non-league grounds that we go to down south seem a bit tighter and a bit more squeezed in, so there may be less room for players to move around, which sort of backs up James's point. So I think both are valid, so that's what I'm going for.
I'm just happy you validated us both. That feels kind of good. I suppose, yeah, that's true. If he's more space on the pitch, because he profits from dropping into the hole, doesn't he? So yeah, that's an interesting point, that, about whether the wide open plains of the racecourse are also playing to his advantage, and maybe better playing surfaces as well might be a part of that.
Yeah, that's probably it. We're more liable to play the ball on the ground here at the racecourse and go forward in a way that is more appetising for his football, I think.
Yeah, good point. All right, then here's another debate. Oh, beg your pardon. We did have an Ask Wrexham message, I beg your pardon, which I've just managed to lose it. It's from Woody, and he was listening to the match in France and enjoying the commentary, so thanks very much, Woody. It's an exciting first half. Appreciate the commentary. Listening in France, beer reserves have already been depleted. Cold turkey second half. Go to the hypermarché, Woody, go on, stock up. So, tell them I sent you. My name opens doors in France. So, if you look at the second question I was thinking about was Quigley. Had the chance to look at him at the racecourse as well now. I'm just wondering, going forwards, what do we think he brings to the party? What does he bring that we hadn't already got?
Well, firstly, number 1, goals.
Good call.
We're short of goals. He's got 3 in 2 outings. He seems very fit and very strong. He's getting on the end of things. And I've spent the first half whinging about how far Wrexham are sitting back, but he is getting stuck in. He is pressurising them, and he's making those 2 lines of Tranmere work a bit harder. That's what we want, and that's keeping the pressure off the defence. As you say, I'd love to see Holroyd come on, and perhaps if it remains 2-2, I wonder how long it would be before Wright swaps with Kelly for the second half. I think Wright would give a bit more movement and a bit more support to him, and he took his goal so well. I thought Tranmere was slow to get to him, but some of the reasons that he looked slow getting to him was the way he held the ball up, created the space, turned and shot, and that was too late from Tranmere's point of view.
There are a couple of moments that stood out to me apart from his goal, and that was a good one. So I'm not belittling that. There was a moment moment where the ball was spread out to him on the flank and it bounced horribly, and it was a really difficult one to keep in, and he managed to read it coming in and keep it in with his head, backpedaling, just soft contact with his head to drop it down and give him enough time to change momentum and get there before the man and switch. A really nice ball out to the right hand side. It was really good technique. I thought most players would get themselves tied up as he was backpedaling and trying to judge where the ball was coming from, and they wouldn't capture it. And the other was when Kelly shot over from 25 yards. A lovely piece of work where he just brought that ball down, faked one way, then the other. And poor Sutton, it was like somebody being tricked by a con man on the street where they've got the 3 cups with a coin under one of them. He didn't know which way to go, and suddenly Quigley was away, squared, and Kelly shot over. Alex Taylor, commentating last match, said his last game for Ballatown was against TNS, and he said he was Quigley, Alex was a centre-back, he's very difficult to mark because he said that having played against him, he still couldn't work out if he's right-footed or left-footed, and there is the little technical elements he brings to the game that make him a useful acquisition to the squad, I think.
Yeah, I mean, any striker that comes in and scores 3 goals off the bat is going to get the crowd excited and is going to be up there, but Alex Reid did the same. So,
yeah,
I'm going to reserve judgment for a bit. But what I've seen so far, I like. He's a nice size, he's got good pace, he's 2-footed, and he's obviously got a bit of technique about him. Now, he's not been an out-and-out goal scorer at any point in his career. At TNS in Welsh Premier, he played in a team that's arguably better than anywhere else in that division by a country mile, and didn't score a great deal of goals.
Yeah.
That's not to say he can't score goals or he's not a good player, because I think he is. But so far, he offers to me, what I like about him is what George Miller did. George Miller was a talented player, didn't score the goal, so that's the only difference. But he offers that work rate, has the understanding of his other players and the touch, so I like him, I like what I see, and I just hope he can continue this goal form, or at least work in the tandem up front that we've got and work well and get others goals.
Absolutely. I don't want to get overexcited about him, because I must be honest, all week I've been thinking the same thing about Alex Reid, a player who, first 4 matches, we thought, oh, this guy's the business, and sometimes it's difficult to sustain that. And I do think what I said during the first half commentary, I suspect he's been brought in more as the backup striker, and then looking to bring in a front-line goal-scoring striker this month. And yet, he's made a bright start. Let's hope he can continue with it as the teams are out on the pitch now, and we're about to get cracking with the second half of Wrexham against Tranmere here on Calon FM.
I'm Marcus Kelly. Follow Wrexham AFC on Calon FM.
Referee is ready. Wrexham are ready. Wrexham will be kicking towards the stand, which usually is full of the home fans, but this time is full of the Tranmere fans. Tranmere will kick towards the Kop for this second half, a huge second half in Wrexham season in front of a massive crowd. Can Wrexham push on and get what would be a huge victory as Wrexham restart? Wedgbury knocks it long and goes straight out of play for the throw-in. James grinds his teeth and shakes his head, his pet hate of this Wrexham setup. It will be a throw-in which Buxton will take. Buxton, whose delivery on that second goal, must be said, was magnificent, as was Cook's header. Throw-in taken towards Cook, who backs into Raven, heads it away. Pearson heads to the halfway line. Quigley wins it there. Picked up by Norburn, who is always looking for the diagonal for Jennings, but Roberts, who's had a solid game at right back, intercepts. Rutherford back to Roberts, deep in his own half, and he rather cutely evades Norburn. Drives it forwards. McNulty volleys it on and gets a little bit lucky. It drops to Norburn in midfield. Wedgbury hassling him. Worked wide. The ball's knocked forwards. Inaccurate. Manny Smith backpedals, nods it to Roberts, and he mishits his clearance. Finds Wedgbury. He drills it on. Quickly does well to take it on the chest and evades the challenge then of Sutton, and is running up McNulty, edge of the area. He gets past his body check blatantly. Well, that's a yellow card, surely.
Yeah, that must be a yellow card, surely. Yeah.
I mean, that was blatant. I don't think there is. It's a free kick in the shooting possession, but that was just like Quigley's first goal at Hartlepool, except there were more defenders around, and he didn't care. He ran at the heart of the defence, and there was McNulty's shortcomings. He just took him out. I can't believe the ref hasn't even spoken to him over that.
Yeah, and he knew what he'd done, and he walked straight away to try and avoid the referee and try and play the ref as well. That was professional football at his worst or his best, really. He was beaten. This guy's going to beat me. Take that.
So he just barged into him bodily, just slammed into him.
Yeah.
And the referee is... I'm amazed he's not taking action, because that for me is more of a yellow than the 2 yellows already given during this match, 1 to each team. Norburn and Holroyd have been booked, but that one, just, he knew what he was doing. He was taking one for the team, and the referee wasn't able to do his job. But anyway, it's a free kick in a shooting position, about outside the box, right channel. Although I think he may be crossing it, because we've got a lot of tall players in the D having a little confab, and now they split, and Kelly floats it in dangerously, and it's gone behind for the goal kick. No one got a touch on it. A Tranmere defender lunging desperately at the far post, stuck his leg out and didn't make contact. Probably, well, with hindsight for Tranmere, that was a good job, but it was dinked into a dangerous area, just no one could quite get to it.
Yeah, you could see that one was worked on the training ground, and it looked good, but it didn't quite come off.
Absolutely, yeah. There was a long conference in the D, which I think was all pre-planned, wasn't it? Kelly just feathered it in, floating, dropping into the goal mouth. Nobody could get onto the end of it. So it's a goal kick to Tranmere Rovers. Taylor clears the halfway line. Cook goes down rather theatrically. The referee's not interested. Now Sutton will have to go back to his keeper. Taylor, as it bobbles to him, clears it only as far as Wedgbury, 30 yards out, and his header to Rutherford is accurate. Rutherford's return header isn't. Tranmere come forwards. Pearson gets there, slams it out of play. Wrexham need to get on the front foot more, though, surely, like they did only for about 10 minutes of the first half.
If they let Tranmere come at them, I think we'll concede goals.
They've got height in their side, they've got quality going forwards, and it's harder to sit in against this team than most teams in our division. Throw-in taken, Jay Harris back to Rideout. Shirley ball forwards is inaccurate. Pearson intercepts, pops it on. Holroyd, first touch there to get away from him, but he draws his man to him and beats him, and then lollipops as he takes on a second one and helps it on to the left-hand side to Raven. Cute work by Holroyd. Back to Kelly. Kelly put under pressure by Raven's bars, and he's done well, Kelly, just to hold it up, but that's taking the pace out of the move, the ball. It's played to Holroyd. Holroyd backtracks and draws the free kick. That was clever play by Holroyd.
And when we're pushing Tranmere are making mistakes. That's the second free kick that's come our way because of just Holroyd being a bit clever, really.
It was neat, wasn't it? That there was no space to work in. Little drag back, drew the contact, went down, free kick in midfield. They've pressed very well, Tranmere, haven't they? But we need to be more clinical when we're breaking away with that sort of second ball to bring us out from the back. Because once we give them the chance to press, they've done it well. Kelly with the free kick then. Tranmere hold a line outside the box. Kelly lifts it in dangerously. It drops loose in the area. Cook partly clears it. Oh, and I think Rutherford wanted to hit it, and Bowden got in his way, rather. Rutherford's played it back to Wedgbury. He floats it in. Too much on that, so it's headed away by Buxton. But Holroyd to keep it in on the left flank. Feeds it back. Kelly, chance to cross. Slings it in a good sheet. Bowden with a header. Good. It's dropped by Taylor and stabbed behind for the corner. Shaky goalkeeping by Taylor. Nice header by Bowden, and Manny Smith lunged in and was just beaten to it under the bar. Corner to Wrexham.
It was a save Taylor should have made. He made a meal of it. It shouldn't have been a chance, really. That was a fairly standard keeper save, I would have thought.
I've got to say, Taylor, who was a good keeper for Wrexham when he came here on loan, has looked a bit shaky in the games I've seen for Tranmere since he's gone there, especially to high balls lofted in to the 6-yard box. And here's a corner. Chance for Kelly to loft the high ball into a 6-yard box. Wrexham have penned Taylor in. It's floated into the near post, not enough on it. Headed clear. It'll be retrieved on the right-hand side by Rutherford, who fakes and beats his man and swings in a cross, which is behind Pearson. McNulty heads it clear. Roberts heads it in behind the defence. It'll bounce behind for a goal kick. Shame that from Rutherford. It wasn't the greatest ball in that.
Yeah, and he didn't, before he played that, he had a moment of skill as well. Yeah. That was sheer class. He faked to play it to Kelly, then came inside and created a cracking crossing position, and then delivered a cross that really was average.
Yeah, he just didn't get enough depth on it, did he? And it was easy for McNulty to head it clear. So still Wrexham 2, Tranmere Rovers 2, 51st minute here on Calon FM. Johnny Smith misheads it, and so it's helped down the line by Connor Jennings. And well, this is the sort of position Norwood wants, but he doesn't capitalise because Pearson tackles superbly. And then Bowden, well, good strength on the halfway line, and can't hang on to it in the end. But Wedgbury picks up the loose ball. Lovely little knocked off ball by Holroyd to Raven, and he threads down the line. Look at that quickly, just overhit it, and McNulty beats him to it. And quickly is shoulder to shoulder with McNulty. He's battling away. He's won a throw-in. I tell you what, there aren't many people lean into McNulty and get a result.
Yeah.
They just make an impression on him, like sitting in a big, soft sofa Throw in taken to Kelly. I don't know if I can. He can't hear me. I can get away with that. Raven gets it back and goes back to the halfway line. Wrexham are having to work around, but Wrexham have come out better for the second half. Here's Manny Smith now driving through the centre circle. Roberts has given him some space. Harris comes to close down his erstwhile teammate. Roberts, it's a poor first touch. Oh, Harris taking Roberts out there, hasn't he? Well, nothing given. It's cleared over the top, but it's too strong. It'll go through the dun. I thought Harris just made a leg for Roberts there, I've got to be honest. Strange one. He's Rutherford in the halfway line, allowed a little bit of space. Quickly wants to diagonal over the top. Rutherford instead squares it onto Kelly. Wedgbury forwards to Rutherford. Good strength. Holds off his man well. Squares it. Bowden in the hole. Holding off McNulty, who stepped off. Has McNulty fouled Bowden? No, it was just his terrific strength that allowed him to win it. And then a Tranmere man goes down theatrically, claiming Bowden fouled him off the ball. The ref's not interested. Roberts goes in hard then on Norwood. And play continues. It's Harris who went down and stayed down. As Ginelli tries to turn his man, but Pearson is there to put an end to that nonsense. Holroyd deep in his own half, squares it on. It's Wedgbury with the diagonal. He's looking for Quigley. He looks offside, does he? No, he's not. He's struggling to control it on his chest, though, and in the end, pulls his man down. Free kick to Tranmere. But, Jay Harris making the fuss over Bowden, and now Norman is trying to moan about him, but there's nothing in that, surely, didn't he?
Yeah, they seem to be appealing for a lot that doesn't seem to be there at the moment.
Taylor's having to go at the linesman now, I assume, over that, and Harris was in the ref's ear, and Harris has just thrown a hand up in dismissal of the referee, as the ref says, get on with the game. Tranmere launched a free kick to the edge of Wrexham's area. Manny Smith, good header. And Wrexham win the second ball. Rutherford inside. Oh, Wedgbury's taken late by Harris there. Referee plays advantage. He should come back and do something about that, as Rutherford does well. Works it to Bowden, right-hand side. Quigley wants it early. Bowden delivers. Quigley in the 6-yard box. Flicks it on the left side of the area. Holroyd stands it up towards Rutherford. Too strong, though. And it'll be brought away. Although Roberts is trying to close down. It's fed down the flank. Connor Jennings deep in his own half. Squares it on. Wrexham pressing on the edge of the Tranmere area. Wedgbury, a one-man press, and he's won it back. But I think the ref is right to give the free kick against him because he was pulling a shirt. Great energy by him, and the ref showing no interest in Harris.
Yeah, because he sort of waved play on, but surely that was another yellow.
We need a strong ref here. And I'm not sure we've got it, because Harris has just been in the ref's ear, and then he's taken Wedgbury out. Andy Davis is complaining to the fourth official and pointing exactly where Harris took Wedgbury out. And the referee's just not said anything to him. And I think we do need a stronger ref. He has 2 yellows that key Tranmere men should have picked up in this half, as the ball's flicked on by Cook because Norwood blocks off Manny Smith. Again, the ref is right there, doesn't see it. Kelly's done well to help on quickly. Ooh, he's done well battling in midfield. Can't come out with the ball in the end. And now here's Connor Jennings coming narrow, helping it on. 30 yards out, return ball out to Jennings, who chases out to the left wing, picks it up, takes on Roberts, swings in an early cross. It's flicked up in the air. Easy save for Dunn. Good ball in by Jennings, though, isn't it?
Yeah, very much so. And a good chance for Tranmere. And it just shows Wrexham need to be moving forwards and on the ball all the time.
Norwood it was who got the touch on the stretch 6 yards out. He just couldn't get enough on it. But it was good work by Jennings, coming inside and dropping back out and swinging a good cross in. But Wrexham have been the better side so far in this second half. 55th minute here on Calon FM, still 2-2. A pulsating derby in front of a full house. Oh, Manny Smith judges that. Is that offside? No. Cook breaks into the Wrexham box. Manny Smith with him. Cook carries to the goal line, across the face of goal, and Raven is there to hook it clear. It was a dangerous ball, attacked by Ginelli. Wrexham felt the Cook was offside. Here's Connor Jennings now, corner of the box. Tranmere's first good spell of this half. Goes on the outside of Roberts, beats him, chips it into the far post, but no one's there. And if Holroyd keeps it in, Wrexham might have a break on here. Well, Tranmere have left a surprising amount of players back, considering the pressure they were enjoying there. But Holroyd's got space to break down the left-hand side. 30 yards out from his own goal, he decides to square it onto Wedgbury. Bowden's offering for the diagonal. Wedgbury, in turn, slows it down. Wrexham happy just to get a bit of possession here. Pearson now, as the crowds make some noise. Kelly, ambitious ball forwards. Oh, it's not the best header away. It's going to spin through to Taylor as Sutton attacked it and misjudged it. It's a funny game, Sutton, as he scored the early goal, gave away a penalty, and looked a bit ropey on occasions.
Yeah, but he can look very solid as well.
He's up and down for a centre-back, isn't he? Like you said in the first half, you feel if you pressure Tranmere, they make mistakes. But that's what their record this season suggests that as well. Here is Sutton, going for an extravagant diagonal towards Ginelli, and Ravens on either that, he wins a good header.
Yeah, but they look good going forward. They look like they're going to create chances. And that's my worry, I think. I think Wrexham have got to keep going at them.
It's the only side in this division with better attacking quality than Tranmere. I feel are Aldershot, the way they come forwards. But the defence doesn't look. It looks like something. I'd like to ask questions of Tranmere's defence. Put it that way. As Kelly does well, winning the ball back in his own half. Wedgbury quickly into the centre circle. Rutherford pops a return pass. Wedgbury pulling the strings back to Kelly, and now here's Raven overlapping. Wrexham have lost something when they lost Jennings on the left hand side, though, simply because Raven's not confident coming forward. He's very right-footed. Here he is now in an advanced position. That's a nice ball, though, but Rutherford's offside. Oh, that's unlucky.
Unfortunate. Yeah, to be fair, I think Jennings would be better on that left side, but that's just natural. It's obviously Jennings is a left-sided player, and Raven is filling in his first game. He's always going to be under pressure, so he's going to try and do the simple things correctly, hopefully, and leave some of the more skillful stuff to, let him settle down, which isn't a bad thing to do, to be fair.
I'm not knocking Raven, like you say. He's having to fill in at left back, but it's a shame Wrexham lost James Jennings, who gets forwards to good effect. Ball played forwards. Pearson clears the halfway line. McNulty he's always sharp enough to knock the ball square. If he knows there's space, he heads it on to Rydal, trying to stretch. Roberts pokes her out through to Tranmere, 25 yards out left hand side. Connor Jennings retrieves it and throws it into midfield. It's picked up by Norburn, who works it inside. McNulty. Oh, it's a dreadful mistake by McNulty. Kelly over the top, quickly running through the middle, but the pass is overhead. What a shame. Kelly trying to set up another Hartlepool situation, quickly running on the keeper from the halfway line. Hit it too hard. That's well won in the air by Raven now. Kelly squares it. Wedgbury in midfield, closed down quickly by Norburn. Kelly helps it on for Raven. But again, naturally, as Andy said, he wants to be safe with possession. Kelly gives it away, though. He's now scrapping to give it back, and impetuously comes through the back of Harris, who he's better at hitting the deck convincingly than he was at Wrexham, I would say, Harris.
He used to be stronger than that, in my mind. He was always a bit loose with his tackles, where he seems to go down a lot easier for Tranmere.
He gets a decision, so he's not knocking it. Maybe it was my rose-coloured spectacles and maybe not noticed that he bought free kicks when he played for Wrexham. As Wrexham fans make an excellent noise. Here's Connor Jennings, left-hand side. Wrexham are trying to close him down. He plays in a switch, and Raven beats Ginnelly in the air. Now then, Holroyd's dropped deep. And is deep in his own half, holding up Ginnelly. Can't play. Raven plays it forwards. Not the best pass, but quickly he's done well to adjust his balance. Can't hang on to the ball, though. And now Ginnelly's feeding it forwards. Good interception by Pearson once more. Here's Holroyd in midfield, squaring it on. Wedgbury. Kelly takes over. Raven's outside him. Kelly pirouettes away from that option. He's got two men on him. He's fed it to Wedgbury. Wrexham worked themselves out of a tight area. There's again Tranmere pressing hard. Smith tries to release Bowden. Can't quite manage it. Ooh, he's managed to keep it in. He's won a corner. Wow. It was a wonderful switch by Smith. And Bowden tried to pluck it out of the air. Failed. But the backspin kept it in, and he's managed to win a corner.
Bowden got a bit lucky there, I think. It was an excellent ball by Smith.
Yeah, he did get very lucky, didn't he? Because once he wins his stretch for a diagonal at that distance and it goes past you and you're on the wing, surely it goes out, but it just bit into the turf. Fair play to Bowden for being alert to it. He ran to it, drove it off his man, and he has a left-sided corner which Rutherford will sweep in with his right foot. Quickly he's outside the far post. It's swung in towards the edge of the 6-yard area, goes beyond Manny Smith, drops loose, Wrexham shout for handball. That's hopeful, but here's quickly winning another corner. Manny Smith did well there. He was composed, got to the loose ball, squared it, and quickly just trying to blast it into the goal mouth, wasn't he?
Yeah, very much so. Another Wrexham corner. It's good Wrexham pressure.
Well, we've had more pressure in the second half already than we did in the first. 60 minutes gone here on Calon FM. Still Wrexham 2, Tranmere 2. But Wrexham are asking questions. Kelly will take the in-swinging corner. Bowden stands on the keeper. Quickly comes to join him. Bowden's offered short now. Now we're going to play that little cute routine. It's back to Kelly. And he stabs instead to the far post, but beyond Holroyd. Miscontrolled by a defender, though. Rutherford's off balance as well to find Holroyd in the box. He beats his man. That's a penalty, surely. He's not giving it. Wow. That looks as much a penalty as the one the ref gave there. He was just pulling his foot back to hit it, and it seemed to be taken down from underneath him, but nothing given. Now Wrexham work forwards again. Raven comes into a central position, feeds into the space of Quigley, edge of the D, on his left foot, hits it, and Taylor just pushes it round the post. I'm sorry again. Taylor's gone down too soon then, no footwork, and he could have been embarrassed by that. Holroyd's livid with the referee now, but no penalty, corner to Wrexham.
I thought that was a penalty as well. You can sort of tell the way he wouldn't go down because he was about to hit it, and then he goes down. Why would you do that otherwise? it had to be a penalty.
I thought so. He pulled his foot back to hit it, and as he brought it down, the challenge came in and took his leg.
And I thought Reece Taylor looked really good when he was playing for Wrexham, but that's the second dodgy moment he's had as well.
He was lucky, wasn't he? Kelly lofts the corner to the far post, headed down, and headed wide, and the foul given for climbing anyway against Sean Pearson. But yeah, he was just, quickly did well, don't get me wrong, edge of the D, and it's accurate in towards the bottom corner, but he didn't quite get hold of it, I thought, and Taylor just didn't move his legs, he just dropped to his left, and he just got his fingertips to it. He was fortunate, I thought, there. Raven did well again coming forwards. Anyway, it's a goal kick, and the referee's telling him it's a free kick because Sean Pearson was climbing, therefore he's got to take it on the right-hand side.
Where the foul was,
If it's in the 6-yard box, no, I'm not going to continue that sentence. I may show my ignorance of the rules. So, goal kick taken, Pearson wins it well. Put back in by Norburn, knocked over the top right of the fence. That'll spin straight through to Dunn. Dunn, ball in his hands. It's got Quigley as the obvious aerial target. Unlike earlier in the game, Quigley isn't going wide. He's stood on Sutton as it's played towards Holroyd down the flank instead. Beaten to it in the air by Buxton. Wrexham win it back in midfield, and they've had the monopoly of possession in this half. As Bowden's not able to hold on to the ball, Tranmere break forward to Manny Smith, trying to get around the side of Cook. He's not managed to do that, but he has forced Cook deep into his own half, and when Tranmere knock it up the flank, there's no one there, and it bounces out of play for a throw to Wrexham.
Wrexham have much better shape in this half than they did in the first half.
Absolutely, and you were talking about the midfield stepping up, and they've been able to do so more, haven't they? And Wrexham have dictated terms since the break, having been under pressure for much of the first half, but it's still 2-2 here on Calon FM at the racecourse. Raven throws down the line. Bowden beaten to it. Holroyd just skips away from him. Cook's dropped deep into his own half and spreads it to Jennings. It's not the best pass. In fact, Jennings leaves it for Ridehouse, who feeds it down the line to Jennings. Jennings getting booed as Wrexham double up on him. He carries on down the flank, works it wide. Ridehouse level the edge of the area. Return ball. It's a good run by Jennings, but the pass is too strong. And it's a good effort by Jennings to stop it going out of play as he lunged in, but he's failed to do so. Goal kick to Wrexham.
Yeah, it's a bit sad to see Colin Jennings booed. He was a good player for Wrexham, and he did serve the club very well. I'd still actually prefer to see him in a Wrexham shirt, to be fair.
You and me both. I don't think he's done much to get that sort of grief, if I'm perfectly honest with you. So, I think I'd rather we weren't doing that, really. He and Ginnelly now have swapped flanks as Wrexham restart. Quigley gets up, it's headed away though. Oh, Ginnelly goes down theatrically. The ref's given it. Oh dear. I do have issues with refs like this. They'll give free kicks for all sorts of diving, and they don't give yellow cards for cynical fouls. He's now said it's taken from the wrong place. Well, it was taken from exactly where Ginnelly dived. I don't know. It's taken from 3 inches from where the first one was stopped anyway.
And Keats was talking to the fourth official saying, what about this one and what about that one? Yeah. And I think that's fair. The ref hasn't been consistent for me.
Absolutely. The big switch. Ginnelly's done really well to keep it in. And then Roberts is strong. And Ginnelly's pulling Roberts' shirt. The ref doesn't give the foul because Roberts doesn't scream and throw himself to the ground. Roberts clears in the end. And here's Norburn. It has to go back because of good pressure from Quigley. Ball driven up towards the edge of Wrexham's area. Raven, though, is happy with that sort of diagonal, heads it clear. Jennings has come inside as he likes to do. 30 yards out, squares it on. Good little spell of possession this by Tranmere. It's worked over again. Ridehouse helps it to Ginnelly, level at the edge of the area. Crosses it in. Kelly lunges on the edge of the box, heads it away. It wasn't the best cross, that, but Tranmere have got to the second ball and are penning Wrexham back for the first time. Straight forwards, Norwood helps it onto the flank. Ginnelly keeps it in and tries to flick it beyond Roberts. He flicks it straight to Rutherford. Now can Wrexham break? Played up well to Quigley. Bowden wants the ball played to him. Quigley saw him. It was really good work by Jay Harris to put a block in. And now here's McNulty. Good strength to win it back.
McNulty tidied that up nicely.
Long ball towards Norwood, just overhit. Norwood is so dangerous, and he's been quiet so far. But that's the sort of area he likes to get into, and the ball then was just overhit. And McNulty did well there, didn't he? Just to block that danger, and Harris as well with the block.
Yeah.
If Quigley had released that pass, Bowden could have been totally clear on goal. Goal kick then, Dunn will take. Cleans his studs. And now steps up. Left foot is looking for Quigley in the air, jumping and flicking it on well. It's read by Sutton. McNulty feeds it into the middle of the pitch. Wedgbury tries to pressure Norburn, and he forces a mistake out of him. Kelly intercepts and goes motoring forwards. He's carried it through the centre, tries to play the through ball for Quigley. McNulty reads it and intercepts.
He's wrong choice as well. There are 2 Wrexham players free as well.
Yeah, players had stretched the play. Quigley made the run, but it was a tricky pass to execute. I mean, it's knocked over the top. Norwood has run offside. So, free kick to Wrexham. Deep in their own half. Pearson plays it short. Kelly in the centre circle. Turns, clips it into the hole. Bowden back to McNulty. Holds him off and is allowed to turn. Works it to the left-hand side. Holroyd has got Buxton coming to him. Holroyd tries to go around the outside and wins a throw-in. Level the edge of the box. So I see more of Holroyd dropping into those positions where we thought he won a second penalty. It's dropping into those central areas and getting shots off. Raven will take the throw. We've no idea if he's got a long throw or not. We might be about to find out. No, well, he's not used one. Thrown to Holroyd on the goal line, who digs out across. McNulty heads it clear from the edge 6-yard box, and it's helped on further by Norwood. Cook backs in, but Manny Smith beats him in the air. Helped forwards by Norburn, and Manny Smith did shove Cook then, although Cook hurled himself like a bodyguard, saving the president. You can give him marks out of 10 for diving, and I'll hand over to James, who'll take us through to the final whistle.
Yeah, I was debating whether that was a 7.5 or an 8 for that dive, but you could just see it was a push and it probably was a free kick, but the way he went down, there's just no need for that. I think it doesn't do football good to see that sort of thing. I think they're big strong men and they're throwing themselves to the ground. It's not pretty and it's not clever.
Yeah, 16-stone bloke doesn't go down like that with just a push in the back. But there we go, modern football. Here come Tranmere, back Jay Harris back in the middle of the field, pressed by Bowden, finds his partner Norburn. Norburn drives forward, beats Wedgbury, into Cook. Cook spreads wide, out to Connor Jennings. Connor first time, Kelly's there though and blocks it, gets under control and brings it out of the 18-yard box, looking for support, doesn't get any and goes back to Raven but gets it straight back. Kelly playing that quarterback role at the moment and the crowd get frustrated because he doesn't do anything with it quickly, but he's cool and calculated on the ball, Kelly. Does find Wedgbury now. Wedgbury finds Raven out in front of the Mould Road. Back to Pearson. Pearson rallying the troops and goes back to Dunn. Dunn launches it. Ginelli gets a flick on, but it goes backwards, but does find 490 for Ridehouse. Back into the centre circle with Norburn. He'll go to Jay Harris. Jay Harris spreads play well. Gets it back into the centre circle. Tranmere just starting to dominate possession in the last couple of minutes. On to Ridehouse now on this left-hand side. Into Ginelli. Obviously switch with Connor Jennings in the second half. Under pressure from Roberts, but holds him off, does well. Back to Sutton. Sutton inside to Jay Harris. Jay Harris allowed to turn. Closely marshalled by Bowden. Clips it into Norwood. Now to Colin Jennings, can burst into the box, but well covered there by Wedgbury, and Wedgbury looks for Bowden long. Bowden's first touch is good. Jay Harris nips in and knocks it out for a throw-in just in front of the manager's dugout. And Roberts will take it 5 yards or so by the time he gets up the touchline and steals a few, I'm sure. Inside the Wrexham half, over in front of the Yale stands. Still 2-2 here at the racecourse. Quigley brings it down, allowed to turn under pressure from Harris and fights that one off. Can't fight off the second challenge from Sutton. And Norburn has a bit of afters there and goes over and makes a point of chatting to him while he's on the floor. Here come Tranmere though as it takes on Manny Smith, but Pearson gets the head, clears it away. Rutherford finds Bowden, he can bring it down, but Jay Harris nips in and Wrexham man can't turn on it. Norburn releases Ginelli. Ginelli with a cross, Manny Smith gets there and it's a corner to Tranmere.
Tranmere getting on top.
Yeah, it's absolutely Andy, and Wrexham started this half really well and got the possession that you sort of prayed for, but Tranmere creeping back into the game now.
Yeah, it's gone back the other way, and I just think Tranmere are dangerous going forward. They've got a number of outlets for scoring goals.
Yeah, Wrexham leave Bowden up, but here Ginelli, right-footed, going for the far post. Pearson's underneath it. Doesn't get there, and it falls for Connor Jennings, but Connor Jennings can't keep it in, and the assistant on the far side puts his flag up for a goal kick, and Wrexham will use this time to eat up a few seconds. And here comes the announcement of the crowd. Sellout here, of course, at my racecourse.
The official attendance at my racecourse this afternoon
will be
8,471.
Thank you for your support. It's a great number. Thank you also for Tranmere, and they've sold out their allocation. It's been a great atmosphere at my racecourse today.
Yeah, and I think it's for the funds for the club as well. Obviously, you know, the extra fans will make a big difference this turnout.
And if we can turn this into a win, I'm sure they'll be back next Saturday or on the next home game. Raven launches it long, looking for Bowden. Easily cleared by Buxton. Buxton header is cleared by Pearson, and it falls into a bit of a midfield, but Norburn can break and switches cleverly to Ginnelli over on this left-hand side. He's got Roberts to take on, supported by Ridehouse, doesn't use him, cuts inside, gets a block, falls for Kelly. Kelly runs out of room and almost falls into Wedgeby, but Roberts is there to mop it up, finds Rutherford. Rutherford plays a 1-2 with Roberts. They do work well in tandem, those pair. Rutherford not really going anywhere, Wrexham, but are retaining possession. Kelly switches quickly out to Raven. Raven, though, closed by Tranmere, and their press is good in the second half. Not giving him a minute, and Kelly has to play it back to Dunn. Dunn clips it, looking for Roberts, and Roberts has almost gone upfield, but does manage to get it back. Goes long now, looking for Quigley, but inaccurate. Quigley gets there, though.
And that's what he's good at. He's turned the poor ball into a, you know, instead of Tranmere attacking us, he's turned us into a Tranmere throw-in.
Yeah, absolutely. And the lively Ginnelli will be going off now. It'll be Clark coming on. So, fresh pair of legs for Tranmere. But you're right. That ball's 10 yards away from Quigley. He's got no right to win it. It's going straight at Ridehouse. Ridehouse has got all the time in the world, and Quigley just doesn't give up and gets the block in. So, it's nice to see. I've always be a skeptic of new players and like to make a decision after a few games, but here's one that's making me perhaps eat those words so far as this performance. Tranmere play it back to the shaky Reece Taylor today. Plays it back to Sutton. Sutton launches long up this left-hand channel. Clark doesn't quite get his first touch as Rutherford comes over the top and wins the header. Battles there with Cook, and Wedgbury gets a foot in and falls to Jay Harris on the halfway line. Jay Harris brings it forward, takes on Kelly. Forced to go out wide to Buxton. Buxton with the first time ball, looking for Cook on the 1-2, and goes all the way out of play, and Dunn will let that go for the goal kick.
It sums up Buxton, really. Sometimes he does a moment of brilliance, and then a moment of madness. You know, there's just no need for a pass that ball.
Yeah, him again, like McNulty's built like a Sunday League player, but you know, occasionally does show some class on the ball, and I do say occasionally. Well, it'll be Wrexham from the Kop end, littered with those flags of various different factions of Wrexham fans, making the Kop look alive. It's perhaps maybe something to think of in the future, and decorate the Kop as a permanent basis. And while it can't be used for spectators, it can be used as a bit of a shrine, perhaps. As Wrexham get the ball to Quigley, strong against McNulty. 3 men on him every time as he takes on Ridehouse and does well, finds back to Roberts to Wedgeby. Wedgeby the first time cross with Holroyd in the far post. Holroyd can get a header to it, but he can't direct it, and Connor Jennings can break with it, but no one in support, and Raven cuts out the ball inside the Tranmere half and finds Wedgeby in the centre circle. Wedgeby surveys his options. Crowd get impatient, but plays Kelly and side pass. Kelly left-footed, looking for Quigley, but Sutton's there and not an accurate ball. Wedgeby though gets that, and Roberts can come forward. Back into Wedgeby. Wedgeby to Kelly. Kelly will look to line this one up again. Goes for Raven though this time out on the byline. Raven, right-footed, tries to play in Holroyd. Not the right ball really.
No, he's ambitious though.
As Tranmere can break now. Into Cook. Cook holds up play well. Has Connor Jennings in support, but no real urgency from the break for Tranmere. Mark mentioned it in commentary earlier. Tranmere happy to sit 5 or 6 players back and just break with the 4 with no real support. Roberts cuts it out. Back to Dunn. Ball bobbles a bit, and Dunn's kick is worries the crowd. Jay Harris wins a header. You won't say that many times. Roberts tries to play a cute ball to Rutherford. I just praised that combination, and it was a poor little ball outside, not needed, wasted possession. Whitehouse gets the throw in.
It's a worry when Wrexham set deep. They'll make them a little mistake and gives Tranmere just that edge to come forward.
Raven gets a good foot in, but it falls nice from Norwood, who jumps with Kelly and wins a free kick. Kelly doesn't need to jump in there. It's maybe a soft free kick considering some of the ones the refs let go.
Just the two things Wrexham needed not to do.
Yeah, and Tranmere now find themselves with a free kick, a direct free kick, 10 yards outside the Wrexham penalty area, dead centre of the goal. Left foot and right foot options here. It'll be interesting how they line the wall up.
And it's probably Jay Harris range as well.
Yeah, although it's Ridehouse. It's the two fullbacks that are looking interested at the moment, Ridehouse and Buxton. Although Andy Cook is lurking. No, sorry, it's not Andy Cook. It is...
it's Buxton that looks the more interested.
Yeah. Conor Jennings, is it sort of looping around here? Yeah, still no... referee is happy though. There's a 5-man wall for Wrexham. Buxton will be right-footed. Oh, close as it goes over the top of the bar. Good effort.
Yeah, as soon as that left the ground, I was worried.
Yeah, it's one of those ones, you know it's going to be close, you just hope it doesn't drop, and luckily it stayed on the horizontal for a bit longer as it went over the top of Chris Dunn's right post.
And that's exactly that. It didn't come down, he had overhit it a bit, and it didn't come down in time.
Yeah, Chris Dunn wouldn't have got there. It's, no fault of Chris Dunn's there at all. It's just a well-placed free kick. But luckily for Wrexham, too much on it. Chris Dunn will restart with the goal kick, looking for Quigley. Quigley gets the flick on, but Sutton is there. Gets a foot in. Kelly wins the header, trying to find Holroyd. Drops for Norburn. Norburn respreads play to Buxton. Buxton gets the halfway line. Tries to play in Norwood. Norwood looking for a strike partner. Cook. Cook gets an elbow in Sean Pearson's face. But Wedgebury's there to chest it back calmly to his goalkeeper, Dunn. Dunn restarts play by rolling out to Roberts, but Roberts immediately pressurised. Got a lot of running in him, Norwood. I've been impressed with him. Wedgebury, quarterback roll, launches it. Looking for Quigley. Quigley wins a header. Holroyd has to back in and should give a foul, but doesn't. The referee doesn't interest in. Harris will recycle play and give it to Clark, who can attack down this left-hand side. He's got Roberts to beat. Gets a cross in early. Should be Dunn's. Is Dunn's. He's fouled and Bot drops it. He falls easily on the box, and the referee this time looks to his assistant, who has the flag raised, and Dunn is staying down.
Yeah, I think the ref gave that. The linesman gave that. Actually.
Yeah, that's what I mean. The referee did look at his assistant. The assistant's flag was up, but yeah, Dunn is shaky on his crosses. He wasn't under any pressure really, but did get clattered from behind after he caught the ball, and it should. Yeah, Mark saying the booking. I wouldn't disagree. Dunn takes it cleanly under no pressure and is then hit afterwards. So definite foul, but the referee has given 2 yellow cards, I believe, so far in the half, and not on others.
I'm going to intervene here and say, I'll tell you what, that's a definite yellow card for me. It's a poor cross. Dunn's attacked it over his head, and he's been hit in the hip after he's caught it. Well, he's taken him out then, and Dunn's needing lengthy treatment. I'm sorry, but ref, get a grip. That's a yellow card.
Goalkeepers union there from Mark Griffiths.
I don't think the refs had a very good second half at all.
So far he's made a decision, he's just not making any of the booking decisions. That's the problem. Maybe he doesn't like paperwork for the FA.
Yeah, and also, I think Holroyd was a penalty.
Yes, I certainly want to see on replay. Perhaps not as keen to give it in front of the Tranmere end that he was as the unoccupied cop.
No substitutions from Wrexham yet either.
Yeah, only the enforced one from in the first half with Jennings going off for Raven. Maybe that's why Dean's been a bit more patient and keeping his options a bit longer, I suppose. But see, McCreth is furiously warming up on the touchline, maybe indicating that he fancies a run as Quigley wins a header from the goal kick. Gets to Bowden. Bowden flicks it on, looking for Holroyd, but just marshalled out by the Tranmere defence. Quick flick round the corner, and Clark wins a header to set Norwood through. Norwood up against Manny Smith, tries to cut inside, now up against Roberts. Finds Cook to Jennings. Jennings gets a deflected shot by Kelly, releases Raven. Raven though challenged, and good challenge by Conor Jennings, who gets across looking long for Cook, but overhit, and Cook had come near post.
Wrexham getting sloppy there a bit.
Yeah, they are. It's came out and put a lot of effort in that first 10-15 minutes of the second half, and seems to be suffering a little bit now. But Tranmere have also quietened down from their dominance. It seems to almost gone to a stalemate of a game.
Yeah. Whether both sides would settle for a point, I don't know. I don't think it would help either side.
No, it'd be nice to get a win in front of this capacity crowd and hopefully get a few of them back for the next fixture. Quigley chases down what a boy shouldn't get. It bounces kindly for Bowden. Bowden, strong, tries to release Quigley in the return, but doesn't get it, and Sutton there. But Bowden still got it. Good sliding tackle to win it back. Back to Wedgbury. Wedgbury inside to Kelly. Kelly back in the centre circle. Now he finds Raven on the far side, who comes back inside to Holroyd. Holroyd digs one out. Looking for Rutherford, gets him over on the L stand, lines up Ridehouse, gets to cross in. Reece Taylor should claim that, and does so as Bowden jumps. Too much height on the cross really, and Taylor releases his fullback. Harris launches it long, looking for Norwood, but that'll run all the way through to Dunn. Quigley's one of these players that doesn't quite get the touch there, but somehow the ball seems to ricochet kindly for him. If you ever play five-a-side, you'll know the type of player I mean. It doesn't matter how hard you tackle them, the ball always bounces in their favour. It's not a bad thing to have on your side.
McCrath has just been called back in.
Cook takes on Pearson. Got Kelly in support. Ricochets up and gets a second bite of the cherry, but blocked well by Roberts, who's had a good game. Buxton inside to Norburn. Norbur's got two more players on support, finds Ridehouse, who's come on left hand side. He's got Clark in support, but Lex not to use him, and he lobs it. Almost looks like it's going to drop down into the goal as Dunn looks to catch it, but it does go over, and Dunn judged it perfectly.
Yeah, I think that was a good judge. But for a minute, I thought he flapped at it and had gone through his hands.
Yeah, I was in exactly the same opinion. It almost looked like the first half when Raven had the shot against Taylor, or the cross against Taylor, and it almost looked like it was going to loop in. But, Wrexham looked like they were about to make that second substitution you inquired about, Andy.
Yeah, indeed.
Done.
It's interesting whether it's Rutherford or Kelly, I suspect. I'm not too sure.
Possibly Bowden, maybe, and Holroyd back into the middle. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see this go. Here's Rutherford. So Rutherford, as we mentioned half-time, had one of his quieter games. Worked defensively quite well with Roberts, which is important. But Clark isn't posing as much threat as Connor Jennings and Ginelli has done. So McCrath, with his pace in these final few minutes, obviously he's also played for both clubs. He might have a point to prove. Cook jumps with Roberts and misses it. Comes off Bowden's shoulder. Norburn will profit from that and spreads play to Buxton. Buxton's got Connor Jennings on the run, doesn't use him. Launches it long instead, looking for Cook. Manny Smith is under it. McCrath wins a header. It'll fall kindly for Ridehouse. Ridehouse launches the cross in left-footed. Cook with a good touch but can't get it under control. Quigley now chests it down, and the ricochet bounces kindly for Wedgbury to launch it. McCrath has to jump though with Ridehouse. He's never going to win that battle. Needs the ball to feet, does McCrath. Great ball down the channel for Norwood to chase. He gets there. Good save by Chris Dunn. Chris Dunn looks to come, doesn't quite do it, and the shot comes there, and Pearson has to be on the line to stop it. Bit of a mix-up between Manny Smith and Dunn. Dunn makes a good save and then doesn't come for it, but Wrexham can break now. Quigley has one man to beat. It's McNulty, but McNulty reads that, and that's what makes up for his pace. McNulty, clever player. Yeah. Quigley makes the wrong decision.
Quigley should have released that one that time.
Clark with a cross, but the assistant flags that it's gone out on the byline in front of the Shell stand, level with the 18-yard box, and it's 2-2 into the final 5 minutes plus injury time.
Just shows how dangerous Tranmere can still be, though. They still got that opportunity to get a goal.
Absolutely, but
Wrexham was sloppy there.
Wrexham also, for a change this season, also looked like they might score on the attack, which hasn't been the case sometimes. Scott Quigley is given the sponsors man of the match. It'll be interesting to see who Andy gives it to in the final summary after full time. Also be sure to join us for the post-match live stream on YouTube, where we'll discuss player ratings scores around the league and generally today's match. Norburn tries to spread play to Clark, and McCreth has intercepted that, and he has got a chance to break. Takes on his man, beats him for pace, but Norburn is strong and managed just to dive in and get a challenge and knock it out for a throw-in. McCreth looks to take it early, but will leave it for Roberts as Tranmere players have now got back. Roberts will launch this long now. Quigley is a target. Oh, he's got Jack McCreth who's come short. Bowden comes now offering. Gets it, receives it back. Round the corner to Quigley, who tries to deflect it into his strike partner, and Wedgbury makes a tackle, but it falls for Norwood, and Kelly mops it up. Good ball over to Holroyd. McNulty deals with it, and Rhys Taylor should have been screaming the goalkeeper, and McNulty takes it off his hand. Confusion in the Tranmere boxes. Holroyd lurks behind, and he'll go out for a throw-in. Wedgbury takes it quickly to Roberts. Roberts, unopposed, gets it to McCreth. McCreth's got room, delivers first time. It's a poor ball. Easily dealt with McNulty, and Wedgbury should get there.
Needed to be better quality than that cross.
Absolutely. Manny Smith lets it run. Pearson will mop up and back to Dunn under no pressure here.
But quite what Rhys Taylor and McNulty were thinking about there, I don't know. Rhys should have been screaming at him, but so McNulty hasn't got full faith in Rhys Taylor, I think.
No, Rhys Taylor does not look the goalkeeper that was here on loan, and the crowd was so annoyed about not signing permanently. Maybe that was the right decision at the time by Gary Mills. It's not often I'll say that.
Don't think I've ever heard that, actually.
As Tranmere do get a throw in over in front of the Mould Road. They'll elect to go backwards to McNulty in his own half. McNulty restarts play to Harris. Harris launched it long, looking for Cook. Manny Smith wins that header, and it'll break McCreth. McCreth can run now. Doesn't seem to put the afterburners on. He's got Quigley in support. Now tries to knock it past, but he's left it too late. We know he's got pace. He doesn't seem to use it annoyingly. Sort of canters at the opposition and waits for that burst of pace at the last minute, and then knock it past and run doesn't seem to work at this level. I don't know. Yeah. He's obviously profited from in the past. Clark.
I think the cross should have gone earlier from McCreth there.
Absolutely. Clark cuts back inside and finds Norburn. Norburn allowed to drive forward under pressure from Wedgbury. Turns back. Still looking for support. Connor Jennings is the option. Ball breaks nicely for Bowden. Bowden looks up to see who he's got. Got Quigley. It's a good ball, but Quigley's first touch is poor, and it allows Tranmere to get back. Quigley does one, but it's mopped up nicely there, and
he's done that a couple of times as well, just taken one more than he should.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, when your confidence is high, you think you can beat the world sometimes, and not a bad thing, but sometimes also not a good thing, as Manny Smith clears up against Norwood, puts it out for a throw-in to Tranmere. It'll be deep in Wrexham territory, as we will enter the final minute of the half. Still 2-2 here. Ridehouse, who does possess a long throw, attempts to take it short to Jay Harris under pressure from Bowden. Charge down, and Wedgbury leaves it for Manny Smith to deal with, and the crowd don't like that. Ridehouse knocks it down for Clark. Clark inside to Jay Harris, marshalled well by Wedgbury. Spreads it to Buxton on the far side. Buxton launches it long. Pearson, though, with a commanding header. Finds Quigley. Quigley's first touch gets underneath it. And seems to have deserted him since my little comment. Norburn with a shot. Blocked by Wedgbury, and Wedgbury launches it, looking for Quigley to release against McNulty. McNulty takes out Quigley, and the referee gives it.
That has surely got to be a yellow card.
Got to be this time, and the referee does blow his whistle and gesture that he wants to have at least a word with McNulty. It'll be a free kick for Wrexham. Very similar area to where Tranmere scored from, but on the opposite side, over by the Mould Road, 20 yards inside the half, as there is 3 minutes indicated injury time.
The thing is, if McNulty had been booked for the one he should have been booked for, that was a red.
Yeah, second yellow and a red. He does get the yellow with the first one, and not really going to affect this game at this late stage. Like you say, Andy, potentially Jay Harris could have been on a yellow card for his challenge earlier, and perhaps not been as exuberant as some of the challenges later, and McNulty also guilty of doing the same.
Yeah. And then that could have given him a run on it, because surely you'd be thinking, I don't want a red.
Yeah, double jeopardy and all that. You've got to think. He's got to be thinking, I can't make this challenge because I won't be on the pitch. So, whereas he is allowed to do that challenge there because he's not on a yellow card.
Interesting. 3 minutes left of this half now.
Yeah.
With the board.
And it'll be a substitution. Quigley is coming off. Akil Wright, fresh legs in midfield. So Holroyd, I assume, will go up to join Scotty Bowden. Kelly probably pushed wide to the left. Quigley is limping. It was rumoured he had a bit of a fitness test pre-game with feeling his hamstring, so maybe just aggravated that a little bit. But no need to risk him. He's done all right in his home debut, especially in that first half. Started to struggle and fade a little bit in the last 10-15 minutes. But he's lively. He wants to prove a point, and he scored a goal, more importantly.
Yeah, indeed.
As Akil Wright comes back on. Nice to see him back on the pitch for Wrexham. Only a few substitute appearances for him since signing that new 2.5-year contract. Will be Kelly to take the free kick. Just a one-man wall. Delivers it left-hand side. Hits the first man's ball. And the first man's Jay Harris. You can tell how poor the ball is. Wedgbury, though, does find Kelly over on that touchline. Finds Jay Harris and hits it again. Wedgbury wins the header. Back into Manny Smith. And it's bounced over the top. Almost through. Reece Taylor hesitates to come, and Manny Smith converges on the ball with Holroyd, and Reece Taylor looked almost to let it bounce over his head.
Reece Taylor has just looked shaky.
Not the keeper he was, unless we were too used to seeing Belford, I suppose, but McNulty out wide. Jay Harris brings it back inside and is under pressure from McCreth, who's switched wings, and Holroyd has come over on this right-hand side for Wrexham. Launches it long, looking for Norburn. Balls for Clark, as everyone misses it. Clark launches it long far post. Pearson misses the header, as does Cook. Can only launch it up. Akil Wright, though, gets in there with a good challenge. Bowden wins the header, and the referee is... that 3 minutes has gone very quickly as the full-time whistle blows. It's Wrexham 2, Tranmere 2. Join us for full-time analysis in a second.
I'm Marcus Kelly. Follow Wrexham AFC on Calon FM.
Wow, well, it was breathless and it ended all square in the end. A big match, and I suppose, to be fair, Andy, both teams turned up to play, didn't they?
Yes, very much so, and I think both teams will be happy with the point, but also a bit disappointed. I think Wrexham they had their chances, but Tranmere will look back and think, we could have got something here. So, you know, as I said, if we'd lost, we'd still be in the race. If we'd won, it wouldn't mean we'd won anything. So a point is, you know, it's another helping hand. So it's interesting, really. It keeps everything alive for both sides, I suppose. But you know, Wrexham lost the advantage of getting the killer blow in the second half, and I thought they just might. I thought Wrexham might just actually get something from it. But it wasn't to be.
As an improved performance in the second half, I thought the first half I know they only equalised at the added time, but on the balance of play, we were maybe a little bit fortunate to be level, because apart from that 10-minute spell after they scored, we had been on the back foot. Second half, Wrexham did play better, took the game more to Tranmere, didn't create as much, but I think I'll be happier with their performance.
Yeah, I think so. As you say, those 10 minutes, I was really hoping Wrexham would push on, and it didn't really happen. But Tranmere were never going to sort of let Wrexham walk all over them. They're just too big and too strong.
Yeah.
And I think we've seen that. Some interesting things as well around Monty. To be fair, I thought he should have been off the pitch. I think Wrexham will feel denied a penalty as well. But also, you look at some of the chances Tranmere had. They had 3 or 4 good chances, and to be fair, I think Dunn's made 3 or 4 really good saves.
Well, I was just going to make that point to James, actually, that I mean, Chris Dunn, a couple of key saves, one in the first, one in the second. Otherwise, Wrexham could have been beaten.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I said in commentary, I'm critical of Chris Dunn at times, especially coming for crosses, but I've always said he's a great shot stopper, and he proved it again today with 2 vital stops. The one I can think of, right-handed dive in, and the one that blocked it in the second half. Both great saves, both needed. Yeah, I mean, those are certain goals, and he gets there.
Yeah,
the goalkeeper at this level, unfortunately, is going to make mistakes at times, but I'll take a great shot stopper of a goalkeeper.
Yeah, the low save from Cook, and Cook nailed that. And
yeah, the header, yeah.
Norwood wants to be running down a left channel, and Dunn stood up and stayed up and was able to block it. And they also alluded to a couple of refereeing decisions as well. I mean, McNulty got booked in added time, but surely should have been booked on the edge of the area at the start of the second half as well. We had a shout for a penalty for Holroyd in the second half. Very late tackle by Harris on Wedgbury, trying to do a phoenix of the flames of when Wedgbury fouled him at Prenton Park. Referee Wrexham maybe a little frustrated the decisions didn't go their way in the second half.
Yeah, I think you could say that, but I think overall the draw's fair. I think 2-all's a good result. 4 points from Tranmere this season. They'll be up there challenging. I don't think we can complain. It would have been nice to get 3 points in front of this crowd. It would be nice to go on and in terms of league, but it's important we now go to Gateshead and make sure we get those 3 points in the game that we've got in hand.
No, that's absolutely right. Wrexham need to build on this result now and get a positive away result. Well, Andy, you get the poison of the match, but there were a few good performances, I think, out there, weren't there?
Yeah, and the sponsors man of the match was Quigley, but I'm not going to go for him. I'm not going to say he didn't have a bad game. I think he had a really good game, and he's certainly up there. And there's obviously the obvious two. Smith and Pearson at the back had good games. Perhaps I was a little bit disappointed for the amount of space given away for Tranmere's second goal. But actually, I'm going to be slightly controversial with my decision and give it to Chris Dunn.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, those two saves, they're terrific. The Cook one, I sort of looked past him, and he did brilliantly to stretch low to his left and stop it. When Cook nailed that header, I just thought, goal. And it was a wonderful stop by him. And like I said, Norwood is great down that channel. He stands the keeper up and slots it past him. And he stood up. And at that late stage, if he hadn't made that save, quite frankly, that definitely would have been, he would have been staring down the barrel, wouldn't he? So I think that's a perfectly reasonable call. Raven on his debut did all right as well. I mean, he looked out of position and silly maybe giving the goal away for the equaliser, but didn't do so badly.
No, he's had a good game, and he's playing in a position that he's not really here to play.
Yeah, absolutely, and he looks very right-footed, but playing at left back, you can see he wasn't quite right. Frustration that he gave away the free kick, which was a soft one, I think, for the equaliser, but what a delivery and what a header by Cook.
Yeah, and that just really summed up Sutton's game. He had 2 brilliant moments and 3 or 4 dreadful ones.
Yeah, absolutely. So, final score from the racecourse as a pulsating derby in front of a full house. Both sides, I think, just reaffirming their credentials as title